Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtrothi, and this is my co-pilot, Zoria. Whoa. And it is, I don't even know what day it is. What day is it? It is April 15th. Of course it is. It is Capsuleer Day 2022. Sorry, Capsuleer Day 22 on here, April 15th, YC127. And this is the Universe Show. Thank you guys so much for tolerating all of this. Did I even make any noise? Yes. Okay, great. How's it going, guys? I'm sorry. I'm a bit discombobulated already. I was preparing to get ready. I didn't even make my coffee because, well, Zoria here jumped in my lap, and I was sitting here checking out these rocks and saying hi to this venture who happened to be hanging out here. I was actually in this belt for like the last hour or two. Didn't see any. Nobody showed up at all. And there's a reason why, or there's a few reasons why that might be, but we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this event. It has begun. The Nexus Reckoning has begun. There was a lot of things that we kind of already suspected, but we got a lot more details today, and we can jump into it. So, is my volume bad? Oh, shit. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Hi. Is this better? Yes. So warping to the mining sites does not work right now. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. No tension. Yeah, he showed up in here and he got an extra 50 million ISK handed to him from me. Just because he got lucky. But I will say this first and foremost, because this is important for today and probably today only, which is that the mining site is actually bugged at the moment. So if I open up my opportunities window and I go to ore anomalies, you can see that there is a Tyrantbreaker deposit, but it's in, oh, hold on. Yes, now you can. Now you can. Now you can. Now you can. Then you can see that I have this in Arnulf, but I'm not in Arnulf, whatever. So because I'm in this system, it doesn't show up, right? This is actually really weird. If I go to the next system over, if I go to Arnulf, I actually had my volume turned up because I was using my other headset for the Convocation monthly meeting for the Alliance. That's why it was turned up a little bit. Yeah, we're talking about that. So if I travel to Arnulf, I can see that there is a site in the system, right? We can see that because it's next door. And you can see anomalies that are next door in the opportunities window. So that makes sense. But if I jump into that system, you'll see a couple things happen. So first of all, you notice that a bunch of new sites show up because they're the ones that are next door, but the Arnulf one disappears, and the one in the system that I was just in appears. So the first thing is that you cannot actually see the ore anomalies when you're in the system with it. To make matters worse, if you open up the right-click menu and go to anomalies, you won't find them there either. The way you can find them is once you are in the system, if you look at celestial beacons, you'll see that there is a celestial beacon named Celestial Beacon, not anything else, okay? So like this Republic data center is a celestial beacon, but that's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for the celestial beacon that's named Celestial Beacon. And if we warp to that one, if we warp to this one, then we will see that we are actually warping to that Titanite site. So here we go. And we can look in the mining tab, and we can see that there's a whole bunch of Trionite, whatever. Now, the Trionite may not appear by default on your overview, in which case you'll need to right-click on it and open and save it, or add it to your mining tab or whatever. But that is how to find the mining sites, okay? And this is really important because the mining stuff is necessary for all the manufacturing required for the event. And a lot of people are having difficulty finding the sites right now. So, like, the last one I went to, like I said, there's one venture mining in it, and this one is completely empty. Now, granted, I'm in the middle of nowhere in Mimitar space. Tyrantite, yeah. I'm in the middle of nowhere, so that's also probably contributing to this. But just realize that those of us who know how to find these sites have a pretty big advantage over those who do not, because they're not easily... It's not quite as intuitive as normal. Normally, you know, you would just go to the system and then warp directly to it. Yes, it's like Tyrants. That's why oh yeah, I guess I called it Titan, which is not right. It's Tyrantite, because it's like Tyrant. What are you doing? Hi. Are you extirpating my desk? Okay. Okay. What's up, Zoria? Yes, the ore cannot be compressed. That is true. But let's go ahead and let my dog get off my lap. Hold on. Is this going to happen? Nope, she's sitting back down. Okay. Let us look at this event one piece at a time like we normally do. I know I just jumped the gun a little bit with that, but let's go ahead and look at Capsuleer day 22 live now. So for those of you who do not know, Capsuleer Day is the birthday of EVE Online. So, you know, early April, EVE Online came online. I think this is actually a little bit late for Capsuleer Day, if I remember correctly, but that is what they're celebrating. Hold on a second. I just realized that this skin here, what is that skin? We still haven't seen that skin. I'm being distracted already. Hold on. Israel. Black Body Drift. There it is. And yep, there's the smoke. You can already see the smoke coming off of it. So this is a premium skin. Oh, you can see like there's like a black body radiation indicator on the side. And it's like low. I wonder if that goes up. Warning, black body radiation. This thing looks pretty cool. It's actually got the, it's got like the cloud effects. Hold on a second. That skin. Well, yeah, the spine always moves. But like, so that pattern, hold on a second. That pattern looks like waves, like actual waves, like Chinese waves. Hold on a second. Vexer Navy issue. This is going to be today, guys, by the way. I've set aside basically as much time as I need to explore everything from today and the event. So we're probably going to be here for a little while. Settle on in. Empyrean Dragons. Yeah, see, look. See that pattern with the red and the gray? They just reused that same pattern, didn't they? Pretty sure. Yeah, I can see the same, like, the waves cresting and stuff. Interesting. Either way, it looks good. I have one of the deadliest corners of New Eden, and it's swarming with people looking for these sites. I'm guessing you're in Caldari space? But yes, this is why I like to go off into the middle of, like, Mimitar space when I'm doing an event. There is a big thing that's going to happen on the 6th. That's correct. We'll look at that. All right, so Minotaur Space. I say this every time though, and it doesn't end up being a big problem. So apparently, I don't have that many people that watch my stream and follow its directions. At any rate, so let's go ahead and jump back into the post. All right, Capsuleer Day 2022. Sorry, Capsuleer Day 22. I keep wanting to say 2022. Live now. TLDR, what is new in Capsuleer Day Nexus Reckoning? Capsuleer Day 22 is live. The final phase of the Drifter Crisis has begun. Activities for all playstyles in all areas of New Eden. And they actually did. I mean, this is true. This is real. New Drifter Wormhole Complex site, the Labyrinth Complex, randomized multi-room PvE gauntlet, and the Nexus Point, high insight unlocked with a key from the Labyrinth Complex. So these are both going to be relatively big sites. If I remember correctly, they're both over 10 players each. However, there is plenty of sites and content all throughout New Eden for solo and group content. After running a bunch of Return the Slaves missions, and Minotaurs don't like me much in their space. Hey, actions have consequences, right? Case-based exploration content with chances of Genelution implants, skins, and more. Genelution implants are a big deal, guys. They've only given them out a few times in the past. Most of the time, I think they gave them out on like the 10-year anniversary and the 15-year anniversary, maybe on the 20. I'm not 100%. I don't remember exactly. Like, they've given them out a couple of times. They used to be worth a lot more than they are now because of that. However, I think it's only the second time that they're just like a drop-in event. So if you do manage to get those Genelution implants as jackpots, they're going to be worth a lot, and they'll be worth more. What are they? Genelutions are actually called by some as the asshole pods, because they were kind of, like I said, you got them originally from like the collector's edition and like at the 10-year anniversary and the 15-year anniversary. And some people will refer to genopods. The reason why they're called, the reason why they're such a big deal is in the C1, the CA1 has increased to power grid and capacitor. The CA2 has CPU and capacitor. So the reason why these are so important is because, like, especially the CA1 and the CA2, I don't think the 3 and the 4, the 3 and the 4 only increase the implant strength when it comes to fitting. But normally, we'll be looking at the solo combat site today. That's one of the things that we're going to be going for. Normally, the only way to increase your fitting with implants is the 6 slot, right? So there's a 6 slot implant for both CPU and power grid, but only one or the other. So you can either increase your CPU or you can increase your power grid. But if you do either of those, then you can't use an Omega for like a pirate implant set. The Genos, because they also give you power grid and CPU on the CA1 and the CA2, means that you can make fits that will fit with the Genopod that will not fit by any other means available to a player. So this is one of the reasons why they were called asshole pods for a long time, because somebody will be like, hey, let me see your fit. And they'll be like, okay, here you go. And they'll show it to you and be like, oh, I can't fit this. And you'll check and you'll be like, is it my skills? No. Is it this? No. Is it that? No. And the guy goes, oh, sorry, I have a Genopod. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's why you can fit it. So that's why they're so important. Okay. And then expect the unexpected on the 6th of May. So there's going to be like some sort of like ultimate climax on the 6th of May. It's worth noting that I have not seen anything in here that implies that the various entities can fail to occupy their wormhole. That's one of the things that we were looking for, is to see whether or not we can actually disrupt one of the group's attempts to occupy a wormhole. I don't see that in the information yet. We might see it as we look through it. But there's no like recording that I've seen of like which side you're earning points for or something like that. Now, there are what has happened is each empire that is occupying a wormhole has chosen a different wormhole, okay? So basically, like I think Malik posted it earlier in our Eve Universe show channel on the Discord. So as those of you who have been paying attention for a while know that there are 5 drifter wormholes available to people. And so each of those 5 have been occupied by one of the 5 empires that won the previous phase. So the Vedette wormhole is now occupied by the Amar. The Redoubt wormhole is occupied by the Triglavians. The Sentinel is occupied by Edencom. The Barbican is occupied by Mimitar. And the Conflux is occupied by the Kaldari. So obviously, participating in the wormhole sites, especially within the drifter wormholes themselves, is directly tied to one of the factions that are related to attempting to occupy those wormholes. However, like I said, an attempt to disrupt them isn't necessarily available per se yet. So it's one of those things that we're going to have to keep track of. But if you want to support your particular faction, you'll want to support that particular wormhole, which, by the way, there are new filaments that allow you to go to a particular one of the 5 wormholes. So if you want to help the Triglavians with their particular wormhole, then you can get that particular filament that will bring you to their specific drifter wormhole. It's not like a random drifter wormhole or something like that. These are very precise filaments compared to previous filaments. What's up, Dutch? All right, Capsuleer Day 22 is live, and with it, a full scope of Nexus Reckoning has been revealed. The stage was set with the race for the Hives, and now 5 factions, Amar, Kaldari, Mimitar, Edencom, and Triglavian Collective, are embedded deep in Drifter wormhole systems. If you guys are interested to know more about those 5 factions, I just did a 6-hour-long stream last week covering all 5 of those factions and their histories with each other and the Drifters throughout time. So from Empire Space to wormholes, from miners to combat pilots, this is a full spectrum call to arms, and the most dangerous sites have been uncovered. There's also an exclusive mission for the Azdaja wormhole. What's that about? I think that there's missions for each one of them, right? We'll look into that. 2 new Drifter wormhole combat sites are active. The Labyrinth complex. No, the Azdaja is just the Triglavian one. I don't see a mission. Oh, yeah. It's probably just asking you to go to a particular one just to do it. All right. 2 new Drifter wormhole combat sites are active. The Labyrinth complex is a sprawling gauntlet with shifting layouts, multiple acceleration gate destinations, and roaming Drifter battleship, and a mix of combat and non-combat challenges. Capsuleers who complete the Labyrinth complex will earn a key to the Nexus Point, a site that pushes even T2 battle cruisers to their limit. This is the heart of Drifter space, high risk, high reward. So this is nice because, so while the Labyrinth complex is a maze, right? Because you got to remember, these are nullsec open wormhole systems, right? And there's only the 5 of them, so the chances of somebody disrupting other people's activities pretty fucking high. So the Labyrinth complex being random means that, like, a person coming in to try to kill you will be having to deal with the same amount of confusion that you're having to deal with to try to navigate the complex. But more importantly, if you manage to get through the Labyrinth complex and get the key to the Nexus Point, once you're inside the Nexus Point, likelihood is it's going to be really hard for other people to come in and disrupt you unless they have their own Nexus Point key. So that's worth keeping in mind. We're going to keep track of like how those sites actually operate, because obviously a fleet's going to have to get in. So there's going to have to be behavior or whatever. But it looks like they are specifically making it so these sites have at least some protection from disruption. Build filaments, jump in, fight for control. To reach these Drifter wormhole systems, Capsuleer can now construct filaments to get there directly, with materials gathered from Tyrantite deposits, asteroid belts in K-Space and Pochfin. Faction-held wormholes now host unique item traders, each loyal to their occupying force. 5 Fight Drifter forces and support the Amar, Kaldari, Mimitar, Edencom, and Triglavian Collective to help them hold their ground to hostile space. Labyrinth will be PvP bloodbaths? Could be. Combat Drifter wormholes can lead to high-end faction and officer module drops, while updated Horizon Siege point sites, now called Reckoning Vigilant point sites, bring intense PvE battles to wormholes and Pochvin. Keys to these sites can be found across Empire space, including hacking contents from Drifter Crisis. So the important thing here is that, like, so the Horizon Siege point sites is this multi-wave site that was, this is the one that was spawning in systems adjacent to Zarzak originally. So these will now spawn in Pochvin and wormhole systems. They have, I think they're a small team, like 5 to 10, if I remember correctly. Dutch can correct me. But basically there's a can that during specific waves, you drop a specific key in those cans to spawn the cool drifter that might have officer mods. Now, it was before that those keys were dropped within the different sites, but like different keys, because like there's 4 systems connected to Zarzak. 2 of them were nullsec, 2 of them are lowsec. So the wormhole ones, or the nullsec ones and the lowsec ones, dropped different keys. So you had to like compare, like bring them together and trade in order to make sure that you had all the keys for the sites. But now the keys are just dropping in combat and exploration sites. So if we, hold on. All right. So hi. Capsuleer already liked and subscribed. Hey, ragtag. All right. So where was I? I did 1 combat site already, and I managed to get 2 blueprints. One is for the Azdaja Redoubt filament. So like I said, this one will absolutely bring you to that one particular system of J174618, which is now known as the Azdaja Redoubt, which is the Triglavian wormhole system that they're trying to occupy. But then I also have this narrow band emission amplifier blueprint, which my understanding is that this is useful within the Labyrinth. But I also got this electron spin resonance, and the electron spin resonance, if I remember correctly, is the key for the Horizon Siege engine, or whatever they call them now. The vigilance point site. So these are all acquirable from the combat site, as well as from my understanding, the hacking site. Subsoria. Yeah. The amplifiers are used to kill the dreadnoughts, I think. Got it. Which is, like I said, that's in, the dreadnoughts are in the Labyrinth, right? All right. Combat and Drifter wormholes can lead to high-end faction and officer module drops, while updated Horizon Siege point sites... Oh yeah, we already just read that. Bring intense PvE battles. There are new faction and officer modules that we can look at. In fact, we go to Hobo Leaks, we'll see that there's a bunch of new items, including so there's a bunch of new command bursts. Actually, you know what? I wanna go look at these in game. So we're just gonna pop this open and grab this stuff. Pop into game. Open up Notepad. New note. Nexus 1. All right, so we have the command bursts are from the Trig Wandering reward shop. Interesting. What is a wandering reward shop? You mean like it's in the system? Oh, the Nexus point is where the dreadnoughts are. Okay. Well, they all have different traders. Like this is the Liberation trader for the Mimitar. And we have a Strategos modified siege module. Each faction has a turn-in point, but the Trigs have a special trader that is a ship and a site. Yeah, the well, it's the Zordash, right? It's the World Arc. Tyrannos armor booster. Compare. What is the difference? The Tyrannos is 3 kilometers optimal range further, which would increase it by basically it's a 20% bonus to burst range. And oh, that's actually really good. A 1/3 percentage increase in modifier of the duration. So this is, I mean, like, good is a long stretch. Oh, so there's multiple turn-ins. Okay. Whew. All right. Well, this isn't simple or complicated or anything. So it takes the CPU usage of a Tech 1 and the power grid usage of a Tech 1, but it goes 20% further and lasts for 33% longer. Which means, so like it already is that if you have the implants and you have the correct command burst and you have your skills up, you can actually twist your burst so that way you can have 2 different burst abilities up at the same time for about half of the time of the burst duration. I think with this longer burst duration, see, like the weird thing about the burst duration modifier increasing is that it doesn't change its cycle time. So if you're just sitting there bursting, it's going to be the same thing no matter what. But if you want to, you can turn off your burst and have it continue for longer without your combat timer. Or you can even swap out what is in the burst and then burst again while the first burst is still applied. So then you can have, yeah, please, wizard. So that you can have both bursts active at the same time. Very niche, but I think that the extra fitting is also pretty good, but that's going to be pretty expensive for what it is. Then probably the same thing for the shield command burst, I'm assuming. Modified fighter support unit. It puts it equal to the rogue drone version. Looks like the best. Basically, it matches the best one. Let's see if it's identical. They are identical. So the Strategos modified fighter support unit is identical to the best previous officer version of the fighter support unit. Multi-spectrum shield hardeners. These are always very valuable. Very valuable. Even under the normal conditions. We can see like even a Pitham B-type is 500 million. So the best... the best one in the game is 45%, so it's definitely not the best one. It's the equivalent of the lowest tier officer mods. So not Estamel. Yes, it is identical to the Kai Ka modified multi-spectrum officer mod. Heat sink. It is not the best one. Once again, it is here. So it's the second to best one. Yep. It's identical to the Vizan and Ahriman's modified heatsink. Modified siege module. This one's interesting because obviously there isn't a modified siege module prior to this. Hold on, I'm pulling up the spreadsheet. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's a lot. All right, so the Strategos siege module increases damage by 5% above Tech 2. Is that about right? Yeah, 5% turret damage, 5% missile damage. It does take more power grid. It does have more sensor dampening resistance and tracking disruption resistance. Takes the same amount of CPU. So yeah, about 5% better than the Tech 2 siege modules. And then, yeah, there's the narrow band emission and the wide band, mid band, and wide band emissions. Hold on one second. I'm looking for other things I might want to look at. You mentioned earlier that you could warp to a beacon and had a beacon menu open. I'm not sure how to open the beacon menu and cannot figure it out. What am I missing? Oh, so if you're referring to this window here, this is just a normal overview window that happens to have like I have a special overview window that just has beacons in it. So you should be able to see it in any overview that has beacons on it. In space. If you need to add something to your overview, right? You can actually just right-click in space. Can you do this? No, you can't do it that way. You'd have to find a beacon in space, any old beacon. Like this Republic data center right here. I can right-click on that. No, I can't. I can't do that. Wait. Yes, I can. If you right-click on the actual beacon for the data center, you can add beacons to a tab. Or you can open up your overview settings. Open overview settings. Go to filters. And then search for beacon. And you should see it under Celestial. There's the beacon. And if I check it, you'll notice that beacons appear on my combat overview. And if I uncheck it, they disappear from my overview. All right. Let's move on. So, Sleeper relic sites and drone manufacturing combat sites are appearing across K-Space. These reward Capsuleers with Drifter-themed skins, Skinner components, boosters, filament blueprint copies, Genelution core implants. Some BPCs allow creation of items that can modify Drifter wormhole sites themselves, creating new tactical options for the war to come. So those narrow, wide, and whatever bands, those are used in the Drifter wormhole sites themselves. Capsuleer Day will reach zenith on the 6th of May. As occupying factions dig in, Drifter retaliation cannot be ruled out. Remember, we already have information about the Drifters wanting to attack the 4 main empires. Capsuleers are advised to reinforce, coordinate, and prepare. The seasonal award track is active with Capsuleer Day Tyrantbreaker skins available through both it and daily login rewards. Log in, gear up, and stay alert. The final phase of the Drifter Crisis has begun. What happens next is up to you. There is a Capsuleer Nexus Reckoning pack, which delivers a wealth of Plex, skill points, skins, designer components, brand new augmentations, and more. So we can open this up and we can see that for $80 right now, you can pick up this, and it comes with the Hadean Horror skin for the Kiki, Ferox Luminaire Rising skin for the Ferox, Republic Police skin for the Vargur, as well as new white and black augmentation suit outfits, and some new Skinner components. 12, 6 or 12, depending on which one it is. As well as 2,000 Plex. So 2,000 Plex is 4 months of game time, which would be normally $75 just by itself. If you were to just buy 2,000 Plex, right, with a Plex pack, came down here, 1,000 Plex is $50. Well, $45. So 2,000 Plex would be 80 something bucks. So already you are, just with the Plex alone, going to be basically the value of the setup. Now, all these skins are already existing in the game. In fact, they all exist in the Nexus store still, I believe. You can just open up the New Eden store. If I search for Kiki. No? Does this not work? Okay, here we go. No, they don't have the Hiding Horror skin available right now. Do they have the Vargar? No, they do not have these skins available right now, including the police skin, which is kind of interesting. That's not one of the new ones, is it? Is that one of the new police skins? Hold on. Let's go look. It's new. I'm just going to triple check that. I don't. It's not listed on what. Oh, nope. It's not listed as one of the new ones. No problem. Yeah, the beacon thing is a big one right now. That's why I wanted to like start it out. No, I don't see it as one of the ones that got added a couple days ago. So that must be all three of those are from a pack on the store. What was the high-sec event combat site? It's like Sleeper Manufacturing Center, I think it is. Hold on. Reckoning Sleeper Forge. So the old Crisis sites, which require 3 to 5 people, are still labeled Crisis. The new ones that can be soloed are named, or at least the ones that are out and about, are labeled Reckoning. Okay, so back to the notes. How to find Sleeper Forge. You can just look them up in opportunities. You can look them up on the agency. I was just wandering around. It's probably an enforcer. Probably not one next to me. Raid. Emergency aid. You should also be able to look them up in agency, probably. Oh, yeah, there it is. So 1 jump away is a Sleeper Forge. So, yeah, you can see anomalies that are 1 jump away while in the agency. So I just went to the agency exploration combat anomalies, and I was able to see that there is one jump away. We'll start heading there. The beacon's fine for that one. Once you get in system, you'll be able to see it as just a normal anomaly. Yeah, it's just a standard anom for that one. There's no bug. I'm going to jump on this while it's hot. Hopefully, we'll see if there's anybody else in there or anything. But I figure that since it's right next door, we might as well do it right now. We are 48 minutes in to the stream, in the event that somebody wants to mark that down. All right, so as you can see, I can just see it on the overview there, but it's not a beacon. If I warp to it, it did not show up as a beacon on the overview when I warped to it either. So that's worth noting. Anyone have a Sleeper Forge T1 fit? So I tried to do it with a Drekavek. And the problem that I ran into was that I had I couldn't hit anything. Like my Drekavek literally just couldn't hit the targets. So I went on Eve Workbench and I found a Sleipnir. I understand neither of these are alpha friendly. The Sleipnir seems to be doing better. There's also a Drake fit that I saw. That will probably be a lot more alpha friendly. That was on Eve Workbench. I've also seen people running around in a Gila. It was tracking. The issue is tracking. They're very small and fast. There is some newt pressure, but I haven't seen it to be like this ship isn't even cap stable, but there is newt pressure. If you are having issues with newt pressure, I strongly recommend considering a capacitor battery. Capacitor batteries not only will increase your maximum capacitor and therefore your capacitor recharge rate as well, but also will reduce the amount that you are newted. It gives you newt resistance. I heard that heavy assault missiles were also having a pretty big problem with application. So make sure to bring like target painters. They just warped off and they just bounced off and bounced back like they normally do. They do this anytime that there's like their main target is out of their range. They also do not leave. Oh yeah, they do leave Rex. My bad. So as you can see here, I'm still like, even with this autocannon fit with 54 tracking, I'm still having some trouble hitting this dude with a web. So normal medium guns without some sort of application bonus are gonna really struggle. My Drek had like 24 tracking. Any fits that work with Crimson Harvest should work here. Yeah, probably. I did see a Kronos. The final boss is a battle cruiser, or is a battleship. The golem can there is no restrictions to the combat site. Let's just put it that way. Okay. We were looking at the list of what's available to bring into the combat site, and it even says that you can bring carriers and shit in. Like, this is not a this is not a restricted site. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit to see whether or not that can help my tracking at all. Really struggling to hit this dude. There he goes. Make sure to claim your rewards as you go through them. Well, yeah, double target painting golem should be able to do it just fine. I did have a harder time hitting these guys than I have in previous events. So bear that in mind. Can you find these sites in null? Yes. I think that the harder sites are in low sec. A second. One thing at a time. I'm going to kill these guys, and then I'm going to figure out my mic. Oh, oh wait. Yes. All right. Good. Whew. All right. Got it working. Whew. So we just got a stabber coming in here. Stabber is, of course, alpha friendly. How much can I earn from a combat site? That's honestly, I don't know yet. The I got about like 7 or 8 million out of the previous site that I did, but I've only done like 1 or 2 sites, so I don't know if there's going to be jackpots or whatever. Obviously, Genos would be pretty valuable. What is this stabber doing? Big spike. Oh, he's warping off again. Hopefully bouncing to me. The stabber's not even moving. Yeah, I did get, so I got these sleeper protocol subverters, which I found pretty interesting, but they are worth, I think, 100,000 ISK each on NPC buy orders. Yay! Now I can activate the gate. On-site loot for one or many. The combat site, all of the meaningful loot is on the final battleship, just like most event combat sites. Why is the stabber locking me? Weird. Innervating are going to want to be your top priority for killing, because those are going to be the neuters. I got 7 to 8 million in loot from NPC buy order sold to Trig. Other stuff was blueprint and a couple of things that we don't know yet the value of. Yeah, that sounds about right. Here comes the innervating. Maybe he's going to be too far away and we'll bounce again. Nope. Seems like the Indie Challenge track has quite a lot of variation. Ask me to mine 7k Tyrantbreaker, then manufacture a filament, then manufacture an amplifier item, then mine again, then make 2 items. Yeah, that sounds about right. You can get the BPCs probably from the market or the contracts. Maybe we should do a opportunity to get a bunch of the BPCs so that way we can help provide them for people that need them. Can't do an opportunity for BPCs. That's right. We can do contracts, though. Wait, you can do them for the BPCs? Wait. Huh. So you can do opportunities for BPCs. There's the battleship. Looks like I have them all to myself. I am flying a Sleipnir. Hurricane should be fine. Especially, I would say, honestly, a Hurricane fleet issue would be pretty decent, especially with the increased pet tracking bonus. I would argue that a Hurricane fleet issue could theoretically be as good, if not better, than a Sleipnir. Do I have a fit? I got this fit from Eve Workbench. We can probably work on fits. I would recommend at least one cat battery if you can, but otherwise the sites themselves are not particularly dangerous. Here we go. I got another 7 million of that, plus 2 blueprints. That's it. And that's the entire combat site. Dutch Gunner 07. Hey, everybody who's interested in this stuff, Dutch Gunner will likely be leading fleets involving it. Make sure to keep track of him either on the Arataka Research Consortium Discord or our Discord. Thanks for dropping by. Can you use a C2 PvE fit? I mean, that's probably a pretty decent place to start, I'd say. Your biggest concern is going to be if you have to race other players. If I copy the fit from the Sleipnir onto the Hurricane fleet, it should work about the same. I wouldn't be surprised. Hold on. Okay. So let's see. If I grab a Hurricane Navy issue and I put a bunch of autocannons on it, and this, that, and that, and that, and that. I lost a mid slot, so I'm going to lose some tracking. It's still going to be, but a Hurricane fleet issue is already going to have more tracking. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it was good. You could even fit a second medium capacitor control circuit 1, and that makes it cap stable, which is pretty hot. And you've still got a mid slot and 2 utility highs to work with. So yeah, I'd say that this should work pretty decently. Another tracking low could be good, for sure. Or cap, or there's a bunch of other things you could do. All right, so let's see. We were continuing on. Some good background. Let's go ahead and look at the patch notes. Patch notes for today. Wait a sec. Why am I building a hurricane? I don't know. This guy was asking if a hurricane fleet could take the place of a Sleipnir for these sites. I think so. All right. So, Capsuleer Day 22, Nexus Reckoning is live. In-game event runs until May 15th. So remember, the climax of the event is on the 6th. So it'll continue to go on for another week or so after the climax, or whatever, this Counter-Strike, whatever we can expect from the Drifters to happen. The Drifter Crisis is entering its final stages. In the aftermath of the race for the hides, where 5 factions secured control over Drifter wormholes, those same factions now call on Capsuleers to help push their advantage against the Drifter threat. This event features high-end fleet encounters with now occupied Drifter wormholes alongside a variety of content outside of them. Players can expect challenging group content designed for coordinated fleets, as well as more accessible activities in line with seasonal content Capsuleers are familiar with. The core gameplay loop revolves around engaging with sites outside of the hives to gather materials and blueprints, which can be used to craft items that grant access to and provide advantages within the Drifter wormholes themselves. So a brand new seasonal challenge track is now available in the agency. Complete challenges by engaging in a variety of content, including high-end fleet encounters, solo combat, and hacking sites, mining and manufacturing. Progress through the reward track to unlock exclusive Drifter-themed skins, Skinner components, Plex, and SOCT ships. So this is actually the biggest difference from previous seasons and now, which is, so the track, we have the login rewards, and we have the actual event track. Now, in all previous years, the event track, sorry, the login reward track is where we would find the Praxis, all of the SOCT ships. So for those of you who do not know, there is a special type of ship. We can actually open up the ship browser. And we can see here, the Society of Conscious Thought have their own ship line. A shuttle, a frigate, a destroyer, a battlecruiser, and a battleship. These ships are unique in the fact that they require no skills to actually fly, right? We can go here and look at the overview of them, or sorry, the skills required, and we can see that it only requires Spaceship Command 1. These are also incredibly flexible ships, both in their bonuses, which you can see here, it has bonuses for every single weapon system in the game, including drones, as well as scanning capabilities. They have big cargo bays, but also you can see that they have a full slot layouts. So 777, so they've got 7 high, 7 medium, 7 low, which makes them incredibly flexible for fitting. The Gnosis, same way, but they have 666. The Synesis, which is the destroyer, has 444. And the Metamorphosis, which is the frigate, which is special in other ways, has a 333. Plus can carry around a refitting bay. So normally these ships are really, really strong because they're a really good way, especially for newer players, to get involved in things, because you can use a Praxis without actually needing to train any skills. So there's this kind of annual cycle of the value of Praxis, where every year they give every Omega account a bunch of Praxis, which causes the price of Praxis to collapse. And then it climbs back up throughout the year. A lot of people note that the winter event ends up being a big time for Praxis, so that's kind of the height of its price. And then it returns back down when they become available again during Capsuleer Day. However, this year, instead of being in the login reward of track, it is part of the event reward track. This does 2 things, okay? Most people would think, will notice this and be like, oh, wait, that means that there's going to be a lot less people that get them because you need to do more than just log in and get them, right? Normally, you could just log in every day for like 2 weeks, and then you get your very own Praxis, and everybody who does it will get one, right? This year, however, it's on the reward track, so you have to log in. That might mean, or you have to actually do stuff. You have to get 1,000 points. That might mean that less people get it, right? However, in previous years, it was impossible for an alpha clone to get their very own praxis. The praxis and stuff was always on the omega track of the login rewards. So every omega gets a praxis, but alphas do not. In this case, with this event track, everyone who does the event track is going to get it. Plus, there's 100 plex on the event track. So there's like real rewards on here, right? And even alphas can theoretically do the mining sites, can theoretically do the combats or the exploration sites, can even do the combat sites, and can even group up for the group combat sites. So alpha clones, especially dedicated alpha clones, could absolutely do this track and get their very own praxis in a way that previously, in previous years, they could not. So I actually don't know if this is going to mean that there's going to be more praxises in circulation or less, because people that are just doing the login reward aren't going to get them, but people that are doing on the track, even alphas, are. So it's going to be interesting to find out, if we ever do get to find out, whether or not that makes a big difference. I personally like it because it means that alphas can work towards earning it. Now, for those of you who are relatively new and are worried about being able to earn this stuff, I do think that these mining sites are probably one of the best sites to be able to build this, do this stuff. You do a combination of mining and hacking. You get the blueprints and stuff from doing the hacking for your manufacturing. You get the materials from mining. And if you go into the New Eden store, instead of going omega, if you're alpha, right, you can actually just go down here and grab the mining barge expert system. Okay. So for 1 week, you can mine with a mining barge for only 15 plex. So if you go to the market, you can buy 15 plex for like probably 90 million or so right now, and then buy this expert system, and then you can grind the track as a miner and complete it to get your very own set of SFCT ships. That's one way to do it. You can mine an adventure if you want to. This is going to be a lot faster in a mining barge. So that's just a thought. I really like the mining barge expert system. It's a really good opportunity for newer players that are interested in mining to get kind of deeper into mining. So we can see, what were we looking at? We were at the seasonal challenge track. So we can see it's a total of 1,150 points, with the average task being somewhere between 10 to 20 points, which the normal ones being like 10 or 20, right? I've earned 55 points by doing basically 2 sites, I think. Yes, Adventure will fill up, so you'd have to do multiple runs or use a jet can, for sure. So the new skins are this new Tyrantbreaker skin, which has this kind of slash, like, vertical line effect on top of things, and of course adds like these green driftery lights and these green driftery stripes on them. So this is the Heron. The Drake Navy issue, which is probably going to be one of the better ones for alpha clones to do. You can see the stripes, like to put it, like if we take it away, we can see like all of those effects are gone now. If you put it on, like all the, like the little lighting effects and everything aren't even on the base model. So there's a lot of additional lights, as well as the stripes and the slashes on the actual skin texture. The Squall. You can kind of see that carbon fiber effect pretty well here. And the drifter stripes in the back. The first completion of each challenge set gives you significantly more points. Redoing the set gives about half of what you earned the first time. That sounds about right. There's no Trig Tyrant skin? Wait. Is there no Trig Tyrant skin? There, I thought there is. There's a... Isn't there Kiki? The Vagabond. Probably a good ship for this setup. Thunderchild. Probably a good skin to use for it if you have it. And that's it for the skins. There's some patterns and some colors and stuff too. And then for the login rewards, we have Stormbringer, Tyrantbreaker. Stormbringer has so many good skins now. Well, yeah, the Kiki's in the screenshot. Where is it though? Where is it though? Harbinger, Brutix, Magnate, Praxis, Oneros. Wait. Maybe you have to get it as a drop. Yeah, because it's there. Wait, it is a drop. Check it out. Look. So the Imicus, which is one of the ones that you get from the track, right? Yeah. So here on day 3 as an alpha, you will get the Imicus Trustbreaker skin. And that looks fine. And we know that this is from a login reward because in the description it says this skin will be applied directly to your character's skin collection when redeemed instead of being placed directly in your inventory. But the Kikimora Tyrantbreaker skin does not have that text. So yes, the Kiki Tyrantbreaker skin exists, but it is not a login reward item. Wait. What's going on? Oh, okay. Yeah, it just didn't fully load. Why is this not loaded? Hold on. There we go. Yeah. So you can get it. It's just not part of any of the tracks. So that's interesting. So today we get fireworks and 50,000 skill points. Tomorrow we get another 5,000 skill points in the Stormbringer skin. Then the Imicus and Vedette effect. And then, so there's turret boosters. Turret boosters increase all turret damage. Relic coherent bonuses, which is worthless, basically. Anti-drain boosters could be very useful to those of you running the sites. Repair booster is armor repair. Missile booster is, of course, missile damage, I'm sure. Hold on. Missile damage and velocity. So damage and projection. Mining booster, mining laser yield. Whoop, whoop. More Evermarks. More skill points. More... Oh, we got an Eagle Trust Tyrantbreaker skin. Where's the Drifter Stripes? There they are in the back. Then Harbinger Navy issue. All of the Navy issue battlecruisers are going to be really good in the Tyrantbreaker sites, but I think like the Drake and the Hurricane will probably be the best because they don't have cap reliance. Magnate. Yes. By the way, guys, those of you who are in the Convocation of Empyreans in Malro, we did just redo our opportunities. If you are interested in doing stuff, and especially high sec or whatever, you want to participate, Malro is recruiting, and we just put up 6.5 billion ISK worth of opportunities for people to claim and to participate in. Where's the stripes? Okay, so we got amplifier and emission opportunities. Okay. We're going to do our best to try to facilitate you guys in participating in this stuff. Oh, there's the drifter stripes right there in the underbelly, like on the inside of the engine. On the inside of the, really on the inside of the engine. That's kind of cool. Hit me up in Discord if you haven't gotten anything yet, and we will look into it. Just in case something got done wrong. Reminds me of the old Sancho login screen. The stripes? Brutix Navy issue. That is a good ship. Pretty cool effect to it, too. It looks good on it. Where's the stripes? They've got to be on here somewhere, right? Wait. Am I being dumb, guys? We have found them on every other ship so far. Oh, I am being dumb. They're right there on the back. To do the combat site, which ship do you recommend? I just did it in a Sleipnir. We were talking about the fact that a Hurricane Fleet issue would probably work too. A Gila, honestly, the Gila worked really, really well. I saw somebody running around with a Gila and it did great. Couldn't quite outrace my Sleipnir, but as long as you're not being raced on, like you'll be fine. Let's see. Oh, Relic Strength. Oh, there we go. +6 Relics Analyzer Virus Strength. That one's going to be good. And that's 15% mining yield. That's pretty good. And a Glamorex booster, which is going to be nice for those who do burner missions. Praxis. I actually really like the Praxis Tyrantbreaker skin. You've got the long stripe on the sides. It looks pretty good. It looks good on the Praxis. Yeah, no problem, DK. Thank you. Yes, I've been having I had huge tracking issues. That's why I'm strongly recommending people use like Hurricane Navies or Drake Navy issues. You need to do like I was having huge problems tracking the rats. I have this ship that I'm flying in right now has a tracking computer, a tracking enhancer, and a web. And a tracking rig. So I have a tracking rig, a tracking mid slot, and a tracking low slot, and a web, and I'm still having difficulty hitting. So, yeah. Bear that in mind, I guess. Stop using hail. I mean, yeah, that's fair. But, like, my Drekovic that had 24 tracking just literally could not hit anything. The frigates. What are the drifter ship weaknesses? Thermal. Sleepers are usually Omni. Oneros. I do like the fact that the Tyrantbreaker skins have the words Tyrantbreaker, and you can also see the 22, in this case, sketched on the side. And there's also the 22 in red right there. Drake with precision heavy missiles, that can work too. Omni means it does. They have all 4 damage types, basically. So it doesn't really matter what damage type you do. Now I want to go find the 22 on other ships, but I'm not going to waste everybody's time. So on day 22, you get the 250,000 skill points for Omegas. And then everything after that, you have to log in. Wow. So to get this final effect, this new skin piece, you have to log in all 30 days out of these 30 days. That's pretty big. Normally, they have like the big prize, and then everything after the big prize is just like garbage, like boosters and stuff. But they've put actual like Skinner materials. Chances are this Wheel of the Awoken is also dropping in these sites. But oh, you can see 22 is in some of the dungeons too. That's cool. But yeah, so if this doesn't drop, that's going to be very rare. As far as those sorts of things go. Am I gonna... Are you gonna make me look at all these structures to see if 22 scratched on anything? There's the Sleeper Enclave. Looks pretty normal to me. So what can a returning player with 100 million skill points do as an alpha? Well, you could probably do the combat sites pretty well. How to join our Discord? There's a link. The Sleeper Protocol Subverter is basically just the commodity doodad that you can sell to NPC buy orders from the looks of things. One of the things I find interesting about it is, like, from a lore perspective, they're really interesting because it shows, like, this is the physical device that is used by the drifters to subvert and control the sleeper drones. Because it says an electronic component that can convert any sleeper drone with a patient guardian into a tool of war. So, like, for a long time, we've had the guardians and stuff in wormhole space that we run into, but they changed their behavior to become far more aggressive when they came out and started attacking us in known space and stuff like that. We knew that the drifters were involved in it, but this is our first, like, indicator of the tool by which that was done. So these little doodads basically convert sleeper drones from defensive to offensive. You get 2 Wheel of the Awoken, the last reward on day 21 as well. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is just an extra. Got it. So this stuff is stuff that you've gotten earlier in the track. It's just more of them. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine, I guess. Hey, hold on. There's a sleeper forge. Let's go. And then after this, I'm going to probably go make myself some coffee because I forgot to make myself coffee before the stream. So once you get to the site, you want to claim the reward. Then you got to kill 6 dudes, I think. You go to university tomorrow, but I'll watch you until sleep. Hey, man, that's fine. This will be available as a VOD forever, and we'll be streaming quite a bit this week, probably. They do go after drones, but it didn't look like they were that aggressive about drones. That's probably why that... I mean, like I said, I've seen Gilas being out here doing pretty good. Don't forget to feed your sourdough. There's a Cerberus. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hacks. A Proteus. Hey, thank you for that. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name, man, but thank you for the support. I don't even know how to shorten your name. I could probably guess what an umlauted U sounds like, but the C with the little squiggly bit is something I'm not familiar with. Not gonna lie. Loki, yeah, I've seen like Tengus could probably be pretty good. Honestly, I think missiles will probably be pretty decent. God damn it. They're just warping around now because he keeps moving faster than they go. So, like, the way it works is that if they try to target something and the thing that they're trying to attack is too far out of range, rather than get kite by them, they're just going to warp off and warp back to be on top of you again. But if he's moving around enough that even when they do that, then they come back, they're too far away, they're just going to do it again, like we just saw. I wonder who's going to win. I'm not going to overheat. Actually, I can't. Yeah, because I'm fighting with other people, you can see I'm not actually getting enough drones killed to need to kill the battleship yet for points. So I kind of don't care. Like, if I lose the race, then whatever. There is a Cerberus and a Vagabond, but we'll see. Oh boy. Hold on. One thing at a time. I started out closest to the battleship. That's nice. I think I might win. Won't overheat, but I will put out drones just in case. And I won. I'm glad a Sleipnir beats 2 hacks. There we go. Another 6 million plus 2 blueprints. So we've gotten 2 blueprints, 1 emission, and 1 filament per site, as well as somewhere between 6 to 7 million worth of protocols and some other garbage, including one of the doodads for the Potchfin event, the old event horizon. No, I'm still in a Sleipnir. I don't know. You don't know how to pronounce it? Oh, boy. Alp? Okay. Well, we'll try to remember that. In the meantime, I'm just going to call you... All right. So, and then I thought I beat Eve and complete lost interest, but your lore videos were reignited some interest. Sorry, not sorry. So, just so everybody knows, since we've had a lot of people come in, polarized weapons worth it? I don't know about that, because you're going to have to tank them still, too. So, just so, like, here's the PSA for today. We've already talked about this before, but if you're interested in doing the mining sites, the way you find them is you pull up ore anomalies in your opportunities window like this, and you can find it in systems adjacent to where you're at, right? But then when you go there, that site will not be visible. It won't show up in the overview, or sorry, it won't show up in the right-click menu. It won't show up as an anomaly. It won't show up in the opportunities window. It won't show up in the agency, okay? So if we go here, we go to exploration, combat anomalies. We look next door to Arulf. We can see, oh, that doesn't even, yeah, it's not there. Hold on. Resource harvesting, asteroid belt, nope. Ore anomalies. Yep, they're not there at all. Okay. Wait, nope. Within 2 jumps. Arulf, there we go. So we can see that there is a Tyrantite deposit in Arulf, right? Now we're about to jump into the system. We can see it here. We can see it here. Once we jump into the system, however, it disappears. We can't see Arulf in the system here, and it disappeared from here too. And if we right-click, it's not in the anomalies. So the way you find these sites is once you've made it to the site, you look at your beacons in space. If you have beacons in space on your overview, you will see a beacon called Celestial Beacon. That Celestial Beacon yeah, a lot of people are asking about this. This is like the biggest one. So you can find it in your overview, and it's just titled Celestial Beacon of type Celestial Beacon, okay? And then when you warp to it, it will be the Tyrantite deposit. I assume that this is going to get fixed by tomorrow. Yes, this is a bug. This is what happens when they don't properly register it as an anomaly. Like it's halfway in, halfway out, basically. So once you get to the system, the thing that makes it appear correctly isn't working right. But you can still warp directly to it. And here we go. See? And we can see you might need to add the ore to your overview too. So just right-click on one of the rocks. You can control, click, and drag to make a dragging bounding box to be able to lock some of the rocks. And then once you have one locked, you can right-click and add to whichever overview tab you want to add it to. And then you can mine away, and they're perfectly fine. And this is the stuff that's required for the new manufacturing. So, you know, these BPCs that I've been getting, like I said, I got about 2 per site, combat site. These require this material, which comes from these ore for both the filament and the doodads for the site, as well as some of the manufacturing. So like the new siege module, for example, if I can spell siege correctly, the new siege module comes as a blueprint and requires this material. How do you get the BPCs? The BPCs are from the combat sites and the hacking sites. No tension. If you want, I can give you some of the BPCs that I just got if you just want to play around with them. What system are you in? You want to just come to Arlolf and I can hand you some? For the record, so no tension in chat. Cool dude. I sat in one of these sites because I was just setting up for visuals at the beginning of the stream. I was just sitting in one of the sites watching while helping out in local or in rookie chat, waiting to get ready for the stream. I was here for like an hour, and like 5 minutes before the stream comes, he shows up in his little venture, and I'm like, that's cool. So I just shot him some ISK and like was like, hey, guess what? You're gonna be on TV. But I don't remember your in-game name. But if you want to, I can give you a couple of these BPCs. Wait, do I still have our DM? I probably do. Maybe? I do. How's the ISK payout in the new sites? Low, actually, so far. Like, just the material that we're pulling out. I've gotten about 6 to 7 million per high-sec site so far. I don't think I've gotten any jackpots or anything. Murder of my sourdough has been avoided. There you go. I got it. I've got my conversation with him right here. Give me the deep lore and Tyrantbreaker deposit suddenly existing all over known space. They mentioned something about that. It's basically just like ore that has received a significant amount of black body radiation. Well, the base value of the sites are pretty low. I think that oh, I've gotten 2 Asdajas so far. Cool. I will give you all of the non-Asdaja filaments. There you go. That gives you something to build. We still have more patch notes to cover, so let's actually go ahead and do that while we're here. Wait, no, I said I was going to go make some coffee. So give me a second. You get quite a bit with the blue loot. Like I said, the blue loot is worth about 5-6 million ISK per site. Whoa. Something really weird is going on with that planet. Wow. That's like bad for the eyes. Is that my upscaling? No. That's just bad. I'm not sure what's happening with this planet. Plasma Baron mix? Oh. Well, yeah. It looks like I mean, yes, it's obviously a plasma planet, but I'm just saying, like, the camera does weird things as I'm moving around with it. I don't know if you guys can see it. But, all right. I will be back in, like, a few seconds. Let me see if I can find something to put on. Look that way for impoachment. Maybe that's just what it looks like now. It just makes my eyes hurt a little bit. All right, hold on. One thing to think about is that with the Tyrantite showing up, is that like a lot of, hold on a second. I missed that completely. Space is big. Alt scroll for FOV zoom. That's possible. Space is really big. It's really good, easy for things to hide in space. And so, do we know yet which filaments are related to which holes? Yeah, absolutely. It says so right on them. So it's possible that these things were already there, and we just now are being given the information of where they are. That's a lot of times they make that kind of excuse. There's a lot of stuff out there, and unless we have a way to identify it, then like it's just out there. All right. But yeah, the Malik posted in our Discord the information about which wormhole is which. Give me a second. So the Vedette was taken over by the Amar. The Redoubt was by the Triglavians. The Sentinel was taken by Edencom. The Barbican by Mimitar. And the Conflux by the Kaldari. So each filament tells you which one it goes to. All right. Daily login rewards also active through the event. Skinner components, boosters, Evermarks, and up to 650,000 skill points. Make sure to log in daily from now until the 15th of May to collect them all. All 5 Drifter wormholes are now under the control of a race for the Hive winners. Their grip on these systems is tenuous, relying on the aid of Capsuleers to help put an end to the Drifters' machinations. As control wanes, the presence of these Drifters increases. Keep the systems out of their hands at all costs. It is worth noting that, like I said, there isn't like an indication as to how we can support or disrupt them. However, this does show up while you're in the system. So the system does have influence. And in theory, running the sites within the system will take control of that system. So there is like tracking to see the progress in each system. So that is true. All right. Within occupied systems, Drifter Hives have been replaced with Reckoning Labyrinth Complex. So the Drifter Hives have been removed. Reckoning Labyrinth Complex has been put in. Within these sites, a fleet must traverse a randomized path of increasingly difficult challenge to reach their goals. Only through the Labyrinth can the Nexus be reached. Keep your eyes peeled and prepared for some surprises. For those who wish the deepest depths of the maze, a group of 10 pilots is recommended. Up to and including T2 battlecruisers are permitted within. So the old Drifter Hives, which we used to do with Dutch and them, you know, it is kind of a maze with different gates, but you can look at a map to figure out which ones go to which. It looks like the Labyrinth Complex is more randomized, which is going to make it so that you have to kind of explore to find which way is the correct way each time. This also means that somebody coming in to try to kill you will have to navigate that same maze. So as long as you guys stick together, that might be good. But they're just repurposing the old Drifter Hive systems, I think, or sites, I think. The Reckoning Nexus Point, which is the bigger site, is the true test for those who wish to organize against the Drifter forces. While it promises great rewards for the well-prepared, and the threats within may push Capsuleers to their limits. A group of 15 pilots is recommended. Like the Labyrinth Complex, T2 battlecruisers are the largest ship type permitted within the site. And so the Nexus Point will require a key that's acquired from the Labyrinth Complex in order to even go into, which I'm sure is, or which I assume is the Nexus Center, which is at the heart of the Hive systems. Capsuleers can deliver items to occupation sites within Drifter wormhole systems in return for faction-based rewards. New landmark sites marking the old Drifter Hive locations have been added to each Drifter wormhole system. The popular Horizon Siege Point site, including the captured wormhole, caged wormhole, one of the tasks is to go to the caged wormhole. which is inside of the drifter sites or hives or systems. The popular Horizon Siege Point site returns in the form of the Reckoning Vigilant Point. This site, appearing in Pochva and Shattered Wormhole systems, features several improvements to help foster good fights. Drones are now targeted by specific NPCs. The payout range has been reduced to 50 kilometers, and micro jump drives no longer function while the wave is active. So those are the ones that were available at the systems adjacent to Zarzak during that event, during the Horizon Siege. They are also the thing that the doodads are used for to spawn the better bosses to get the cool officer loot. New ore sites will be spawning in high, low, and null security in Pochvin. Refine Tyrannite into Elutrinium to be traded for high system filaments, volatile boosters, and used to manufacture emission amplifiers and limiters. Sleeper drone manufacturing sites have been appearing across New Eden. These hostile infested zones are designed for solo capsuleers seeking a challenge. These are the combat sites. Reckoning Sleeper Forge sites can be found in high security space and present a lower threat level. And Sleeper Foundries can be found in low security space and are significantly more dangerous. And capsuleers are advised to bring at least heavy assault cruisers before engaging. So does that mean that there are no Sleeper drone manufacturing sites in nullsec? The combat sites don't spawn in lowsec, or nullsec rather. The ore sites spawn in nullsec, but the combat sites apparently only appear in high and low. Then Sleeper Relic sites have also begun emerging. Reckoning Sleeper Reserve in high security and Reckoning Drifter Stockpile in low security conceal valuable relics awaiting to be recovered. So again, no nullsec. While Drifter Crisis Interstellar events are now gone, the Crisis Field Rescue, Crisis Observatory infiltration sites can now be found across new Empire-controlled systems. Crisis Deathless Research Outpost can be found there and within null security space. So the Crisis Research Outpost, which is the 5-man, like the one where you have to rep the tower and kill the obliviating drones, like that one is available in nullsec. But the hacking site and the salvage site is not available in nullsec. Those are only available in Empire space, so high and low. Rewards can be found by capsuleers within these solo combat and relic sites, includes valuable Sleeper Protocol Subverter, Drifter-themed skin and skinner components, Historic Capsuleer Day skins and apparel, limited cerebral accelerators, boosters, and implants. So, yep, and fixed an issue where Pos Shield was appearing yellow or green, but I was seeing that, like, even now normal shields are showing up as green, so whatever. So that's about it for the sites. Let me go get my coffee, and we will see what else to do. All right. I've got my I've got my Malro t-shirt. I've got my Malro mug. I didn't see any sites when I was doing my tour through Soundship Space this morning. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the sites are not in nullsec, which is pretty crazy. Unless that's, like, not correct. Why are things not showing up on my chat correctly? Hold on a second. You want to see a drifter dread up close? That would be cool, wouldn't it? I need to. We'll need to do that at some point soon. All right. It's weird that my OBS stopped, like, keeping track of chat, but whatever. Okay. Is that it? Okay, so Hobo Leaks, we see... There's the battleship. There's a bunch of new crates that they just added in for various reasons. and new expert systems for these. Look like MPE type stuff. So the obstruction node is part of the Labyrinth. It says that you must destroy it. As long as it remains intact, no further progress is possible. Same with the thread capacitor. It must be hacked. So there, you must hack these thread capacitors before you're able to progress. So you're going to need hacking within the labyrinths. This one looks like you just destroy it. These have to be hacked. Sentry Tower, we fought that earlier. Laid-on forked packet. So we have the laid-on forked packet and the Minos forked packet, which also gives us more information about the drifters, which says, recover from a copy of the laid-on drifter mind. This data packet may hold answers to the nature of the Nexus ciphers being generated in the Labyrinth complex. While clearly synthetic rather than organic in origin, the data packet shows evidence of layered redundancy associated with a mind that has evolved or emerged from a simpler set of constructs. So it's just showing that the drifters are, in fact, this artificial intelligence. 07. You have, and then we have these other things: the recursive knot, unsolvable but prove valuable to forces occupying drifter wormholes. So that's a turn-in. Uncertainty thread. All these are turn-in units. Through this unit, every action they execute links back to the Labyrinth superstructure, making it part of the unfathomable operations. Interesting. Hyper-complex data loop that has reached its nth dimensional solution terminus. Just a bunch of doodads for turn-ins. And then we have the laid-on Tyrannos and Minos Tyrannos, which are both drifter battleships. It does look like they have a super weapon, guys. It looks like we have a super. We have active super weapons. Oh. At least one of them is female. That's correct. But yeah, looks like they have super weapons. Even though it usually says it in the description. It doesn't say it in the description, but it definitely says it in the behaviors. What about the Minos? The Dread is female? Ah. Glorification exchange. This is that special exchange that I think some people were talking about. Asdaja is the Astana, ancient enemy. Other reverse time and advanced time conflicts are Pravada in their wake. So this is basically saying that the drifters are the main ancient enemy. Other historical conflicts are less important comparatively. Proven hunters worry of glorified exchange, independence, Soborno status, and now time affiliations. Which is the optimal gender. A lot of people refer to Charybdis Tyrannos as a male, even though it's a female in the Abyss. People just like to be snooty about the drifters. I mean, like, actually, that's a female drifter. And by people, I mean me. Normal combat sucks for multiple because only one can get the battleship kill. That's true. That's the same as most events like this. Yeah. As the maze compiles valuable solutions, they are hoarded inside this structure. Only its destruction will make the data inside accessible. I'm assuming that this Reckoning Hoard is the thing that gives you the key that gets you into the Nexus. The solutions to this labyrinth pathways, both those within our 4 dimensions and beyond, are held here for contemplation. Once they have been processed, the capacitor has been hacked to believe that they... Or the capacitor has been hacked to believe that they have been processed. There will be a reckoning. I don't know what that means. I assume that spawns some stuff, maybe? I don't know. And then here's the battleship that spawns in the high-sec site. Different boosters, armor resistance, armor repair, shield Oh, this one does both shield and armor. Energy warfare resistance. Plus to virus coherence, plus to virus strength. The strength one is obviously much more stronger. A rare collection of precious artifacts and valuables stored by the drifters. Due to ancient protocols used to encrypt this collection, it can be opened with the help of a relic analyzer. So it's probably in the hacking sites. I've heard that the Labyrinth layout is the same every time, though. Well, they say that it's not. So, I mean, it might be. I don't know how people would even know that at this point, though, like players. Because this says a fleet must traverse a randomized path of increasingly difficult challenges. Here's some landscapey stuff that they just put in for funsies. Yeah, if it is the same every time, then it is bugged. Oh, we didn't... The Guardian, also, I don't think we saw a Guardian available anywhere. It was some Reddit post? Interesting. Yeah, the Guardian also doesn't say that it applies directly. Flea Harvey Oswald, by the way, guys, is Drake Adion, who is on the CSM, so he knows a thing or two. I would not be surprised if there were at least a few bugs. There's a lot going on into this event, and there wasn't any time to really, like, they didn't really test anything, so I would not be surprised if there's a lot of little bugs that get corrected by the end of tomorrow. This is very typical for all new events, really. Sometimes they're to your advantage, sometimes they're not to your advantage. Like today, it is to your advantage that you know how to access mining sites and other people don't. What's the worst? You're telling me that there's a bug worse than the mining sites not showing up? Because, boy, is that confusing a lot of people. Hurricane Fleet issue also doesn't have the drop. Look at the dread description. Oh, no. That can't be the worst bug, though. Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? God damn it. Unforgivable. Ah, there it is. A drifter dreadnought piloted by Tyrannos Strategos, leader of the Vigilant Tyrannos. Her work within this nexus is unclear, but she will show no mercy to any who would disrupt it. What? I missed it from the beginning. Have you done any of the mining portion? Maybe that would be best for getting multiple characters through the event track. I think that mining is probably going to be the... Strategos Dreadnought? Oh. Wait. This is one of those moments where they spelled Dreadnought wrong, right? Is that right? I don't know, man. It's obviously not the worst bug. My dyslexic ass. Stragios, not Strategos. Wait, it says it right there. Wait, what do you... Oh. Now you're just wasting everybody's time. I agree. Clearly, the most unforgivable piece of this entire patch is the fact that they misspelt Strategos' name correctly in the description of the Dreadnought. Unsubbing all 45 accounts. Whatever. So, and then there's these new augmentation suits. Hold on, I gotta look at these. They have a diamond on it, so these are like, are these the ones that you get for buying the thing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wow. Those are fucking intense. Huh. Wait, that looks like the Deathless, doesn't it? That's the Deathless's outfit, isn't it? Yep, that's what that is. So this looks like it's the Deathless's outfit. Hold on. See, you can see like there's the plates on the side here. There's this pipe right here, and the kind of back spine piece behind the head. And so we can see like there's that side tube, there's the plates, there's the neck piece at the back of the head. So yeah, this is very much the Deathless's suit. Now, it's worth noting that, as you can see, this outfit does not have the correct graphics in it, and it has a little diamond. So I don't think this is the same one that you get for the Plex pack. Hold on. That's the Cluster Champion frame. So yeah, this is what you get for buying the Nexus Reckoning pack, okay? Is this set. So as of right now, we do not know how to get this set. However, it does say that this is a diamond, which would mean that it would be like a premium thing. Also, this is considered outerwear, right? The description says when all of New Eden... Oh, wait, no, that's the champion frame. It's an outer suit, so I actually don't know what it would stack with. I suspect that this... Well, no, because the diamond... So far, historically, CCP has never put a diamond on a thing and then had that thing show up, like, just as a free... Like, that always means that it's going to be a premium item when it comes out. What it is attached to, I have no idea. It could be anything from a Plex store thing. It could be... It could even be a login reward or a Twitch drop reward or something like that. But for in-game, not likely. Yeah, it throws wallet at screen. I know, right? It is currently not published, as you can tell by the fact that its name is total garbage. So something to keep an eye on. Also, all of the new police skins that they added into the game recently, none of them are available yet. So expect to see more stuff coming over the next few weeks. In fact, one is... Which one? Look, hold on. Yes, I know that the Vargar is in the pack. The problem is that we can see here that when they added all the police skin, they added the Paladin, the Heretic, the Purifier, the Coercer, the Oneros, the Catalyst, the Panther, the Saber, the Hound, the Vagabond, the Thrasher, the Basilisk, the Falcon, and the Rook. So while the Vargar is in the pack right now, I can't see it was added just now. So of these police skins that were added last week, we haven't seen them. So these new police skins are not available yet in any way that I know of. The Varger one is available, but it has been available before. So, yes. So what I'm trying to suggest is I would not be surprised if these skins and potentially even this outfit were available as part of a thing for the 6th. That said, yeah, CCP should be pretty well be aware that this outfit is probably going to be one of the most popular outfits in the history. Ooh, it could be for FanFest. This could be the outfit for FanFest. Didn't they already announce what we get for FanFest? FanFest items were already given out if you have a ticket. What were they? I don't know. Oh, wait. So that's an important piece to note. They were skins? So FanFest ends on the 4th of May. Wait. That's still like a month away from March. Never mind. No, I think that this is probably going to be related to the Drifter Crisis stuff. I'm not seeing anything about... Where's the... CCP delivered today FanFest skins for 25. Celestial Coalescence skins. So allegedly, these are the skins that they gave out for FanFest this year. Which, oh yeah, I remember these being added to the game. So this is what they get for FanFest this year. Or this is what they got for FanFest this year? The trick for mining sites was to get to the site, get to the system itself that it's in, and then look for a beacon in your overview labeled Celestial Beacon, and just warp to it. You have to have beacons on your overview. So if you... Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most amazing skin for me either, but they're just like, that's the one for, what's it called? For FanFest, so that's fine. So if you open up your overview, you've got your overview here, you go to the triple dots, you go to open overview settings, make sure beacon is on your overview, and then you should be able to warp directly to it. DM'd you my first relic sites loot. Okay, I'm going to go check that out and then probably go to the bathroom. First relic site loot looks like you got one BPC, the potent Capsuleer one, so that's a pretty good value. You got 2 of the doodads for the Drifter sites and 6 million worth of protocol. Is that about right? Does that sound right? Over 100 people. Wow, there's 120 people watching and only 35 likes. Oh, I feel unloved. Okay. So then Wizard has provided us with this cool spreadsheet. These are the turn-ins for different stuff. You have the glorification exchange. Hold on. So this is what they mean. You have the 5 normal sites. You have the Liberation Quartermaster for the Mimitar, Conflux Irie State Trader for the Caldari, Anointed Allocator for the Amar, Requisition Officer for the Edencom, and Kybernaut Glorification Zordash for the Triglavians. But then you also have this glorification exchange for the Triglavians. Can I share the link? Yes, I can. Hey, Dr. Peter Quill, thank you for that support. So if you get the late unforked packet, the definitive thread, the terminated knot, and the dominance command unit. Oh, shoot. Hold on. All right. That's my, what time is it? I've still got some time. Hey, 07, thank you for that punch. Producer level support. That was, my son's going to be coming over tonight, which is nice. So, all right. So then you can also, so you get the armor command burst, the shield command burst. Oh, there's the Kikimora Tyrantbreaker skin. So if you get the Minos Forked packet, so wherever Minos spawns, when you get their loot, then you can turn that in for the Kiki Tyrantbreaker skin. And then okay, so there's one per race? Oh no, they all have the Astero. All of the normal ones have the Astero Tyrantbreaker skin. And then this Glorification Exchange has the Kikimora one. Reckoning Labyrinth Complex Trader. So this is like within the complex? Is this only in the Triglavian held system? And then damage control mutaplasmids. So these are actually interesting because like damage control mutaplasmids were part of the invasion. So they were really easy to get for a little while and then became really hard to get. And then stasis webifiers are and afterburners are from Dark Abyss. The Mimitar give some boosters, Republic Fleet autocannons, an afterburner and cap battery, so just some basic Republic Fleet items, and then that Tyrantbreaker skin. For the Caldari, you've got Caldari Navy heavy missile launchers, which if you have a Dark Cerberus, this is going to be good for that. You need those Caldari Navy heavy missile launchers. Wait, I think those are heavy assault missile launchers now that I think about it. The Caldari Navy multi-spectrum shield hardener would probably be pretty good. Imperial Navy plates, Imperial Navy army repair, Imperial Navy heat sink, so good faction loot in general. Medium consortium Vorton projector, unstable Vorton tuning system mutaplasmid, Republic Fleet medium cap battery. That's kind of funny. Like Edencom's just like, throw a Republic Fleet item in there. I think Trigger's just giving extra stuff, but that one can show up in any of them? Okay. So the Glorification Exchange can show up in any of them? Is that true? Vela's Heavy Entropic Disintegrator. Perun Heavy Mutaplasmid Remote Armor Repairer. Drekovic Kybernaut Clade Skin? Holy shit! That's kind of fucked up. I do like how the Triglavians ended up with the Wolf Rayet. But, like, wait. I know people that bought that skin. That feels really weird. Yeah, it's currently available. So wait, it's a 250 plex skin that's just available, that you can get it if you turn in. Like, none of the rest. So the Trig have 2 turn-in points, and one of their turn-ins for recursive knot and a definitive thread. So if you have a recursive knot and a definitive thread, you could get a Republic Fleet medium cap battery, which, by the way, medium cap batteries not as good as large cap batteries when it comes to Republic Fleet, because the whole reason why you use Republic Fleet is for better fitting, so you can oversize your cap battery. And then, like, or you could get a multi-spectrum shield hardener, which is nice. Hey, like the stream for the guineas. Or you can get an Imperial heatsink. Or, yeah, a medium cap battery, or a fucking Kyber 250 plex skin. 250 plex. 250 plex is half a month of an Omega. So that's, I mean, like, obviously you could probably get it for a little bit cheaper, but that means that it would be like over $1 billion for the Kybernaut Clade skin. Medium cap batteries are not fucking $1 billion ISK. Hold on. You just lost your Gila? No! What happened? I guess they did get first place. Oh, gate camp. Ew. Eating common bad rewards is lore accurate. Oof. Big oof. All right, hold on a second. I just gotta look. I gotta understand. Medium Republic Fleet cap battery. Pretty nice. It's a good item. It's 20 million ISK each. Okay. Oh, hold on. It is worth noting that it's significantly less units, right? So, because this is only 5 recursive knots and 1 definitive thread. So, hold on. So, it's 12. Wait, so 12, hold on, 12, 12 times 5 is 60, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it's about 12 times as much material. So 12 times 20. Why do I feel like my brain is falling out? Let me just make sure. 12 times 20 is 240 million. 240 million worth of Republic Fleet Republic Fleet medium cap batteries, or $432 million ISK skin currently on the market, with a price history that's already dropping. So it could go as low as 200 million. Man, if you, like, unironically, the best thing to take out of this is if you don't have a Drekavik Kybernaut Clade skin yet, this is the time to pick one up for ISK. Because, wow, yeah, like, it's almost twice as much to get that than any of the other offerings. I was flying something I knew I shouldn't have because I don't have the ISK to replace it. Oh no, DK. Message me your lost mail. I'll see what I can do. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. So the rewards aren't the same for each empire. And you can get the Drekavik Kybernaut Clade skin from the Triglavians in the Wolf Riot. I don't see anything else that jumps out to me nearly as much as that one. Also, the Minos forked packet is only for the Kikimora Tyrantbreaker skin. Yeah, a medium consortium Vortron projector can be really good. Those are faction. So right now those are 600 million. So that's a pretty good one too. I don't know. I think that they should have made them large cap batteries instead of medium. But either way. All right. Anything else that we should cover right now? Anything we need to jump into? I'd love to go check out some of the systems. Hold on. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. When I get back, if you guys have any ideas for what to do that we still want to go and check out today. Otherwise, we can go check it out. I think I got it sent in game. Wait. If you email me, oh shit, I'm on the wrong character. Check what the wormholes look like. Yeah, we should do that at least. I'll be right back. Why did my PC have to die? Oh no! You got to get that fixed. You got a spare Sentinel in Dodixie? Okay, I should probably be heading there anyways. Let me check real quick. Looking at active challenges, is it just me or do you get points for just entering the site? Yes, but once you enter the site, then that challenge completes and then it gives you the next piece to that challenge, right? Like this one just said, hey, go into the site. And then once I completed it, then the next one that pops up is kill 6 dudes. And then when I complete that, then it says, okay, now kill the battleship. And then when you complete that, then it says, okay, now find another site and enter it. So you can't just like continually bounce between sites or whatever. You have to actually like, that's just step 1 of the track, if that makes sense. Is it going to be worth mining all this Tyrannite? I think so. Yeah, I saw the contract. Oof. Yeah, don't take it into low sec. You got hot dropped. You got Blops hot dropped. That's sad. Oops. There you go. That'll help you out. All right. These mining sites are very abusable. T2 fit retriever took 10 minutes to mine 9K. G to buy price is 9 million for all that ore. Yeah, like right now is probably a very good time to be mining because the vast majority of the population have no idea how to get to the actual sites. Oh no, I have the maximum number of jump clones. CPU. Ugh. All right, well, let's just go ahead and head to Dodixie then. Wait, do I have a good implant there to use? Hold on. No. All right, let's just go there. We'll just head there. Not really. It's already dog shit price. Wait, what? $10 million, 9 million ISK for 10 minutes of mining in high sec does not sound bad. Yeah. Not even sure what you were doing out in low sec. Is there a site place where I can get more info on these sites and what to expect? I mean, we covered it some earlier in the stream. The combat site does have newt pressure in it. But it's mostly frigates and cruisers, so there's going to be a lot of difficulty hitting the smaller targets. But there's like 4 or 5 per spawn. There's 2 waves in the first room. There's 1 wave in the second room, plus a tower, and then the battleship. Innervating are going to be the ones that you want to prioritize to kill the newts. Otherwise, they're pretty simple. And that's for the high sec combat sites. The low sec combat sites are probably going to be a little bit more extreme version of them. And then, of course, the ones in the wormholes themselves are 10 and 15 man sites. That's fair. Well, we learn our lessons, huh? The hacking site is a pretty standard relic site. From my understanding, there's nothing really special about it. So right now there's 3 different relic sites that are available. 1 in high sec, 1 in low sec, and 1 is the older site. The older site is from the actual Crisis. I think they're still labeled Crisis, and they have the, you know, the tripwires and all the extra like doodads that like try to screw you up while you're doing them, but no rats. Well, I mean, there can be rats if you trigger the alarms. But the standard one, I think, is just a normal relic site. How to access event mining sites, anyone knows? So you can find the event mining sites by going to the opportunities window, going to ore anomalies, and looking here for these small Tyrannite deposits. But then once you make it to the system itself, it won't be there. It'll disappear off your opportunities and all that sort of stuff. And you'll see a celestial beacon in space that's just named Celestial Beacon, right? And that is the Tyrannite site. It's just you can't see it, or like there's a bug making it appear right now. So you guys are funny. Only proc ones get decent stuff. In normal is worse than standard low sec ones. What? I'm not sure 100%. Are you talking about the hacking sites? Oh, the price is not great. Added 1 too many zeros. I actually suspect that I don't actually know how this whole ore stuff is going to work out, because I think as people get more and more prepared to run the actual sites in the wormholes themselves, you should see an increase in the demand of the ore being mined. But I also suspect that there might be more ore being mined than is necessary for the amount of activity that is actually taking place inside of the drifter wormholes. Like you can get filaments to go into the drifter wormholes that way, but if you're not actually doing the 10-man sites, then you're not going to want to use that. And likewise, if you are like, there's no big consumption of the ore. You're going to need it to run the sites inside of the wormhole sites systems, but like there's no real use outside of that. Aren't the wormholes going to be purely group content? It looks like that is the case. The two sites that are added to the wormholes are both group content, but there are still landmarks. Like, for instance, you're told to go visit the caged wormhole, which is what we're going to be trying to do. Oh, it is only in the Azdaja readout. Okay. So we do have to go to the Azdaja readout. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to do that. That's what we're doing. Eventually. What if we get access to drifter ships and he's Tyrantbreaker to build them? That'd be pretty wild all of the Tyrantbreaker that like they don't introduce new, but they introduce new ways to use it. That'd be pretty wild. But the challenges don't repeat right away. I wonder if there's other challenges to go to the other drifter hives. Yeah, I wonder if they're each... So each of the different wormholes have different landmarks. Interesting thing about grinding points by mining. If you have a manufacturer one of the filament blueprints to get the mining challenge again, might mess up new players since the BPCs are expensive right now. Well, that's one of the reasons why we're trying to acquire the blueprints, so that way we can provide them for our own people that need them. If we ever get to build rogue drone ships, I hope you have the alloys to build them. You need to sell what you manufacture? Oh, that's interesting. Anywho, so... Hey, no tension. Thanks for dropping by. So this is Eve Travel. Eve Travel is a website that was created by Mark726, and he made his own thing about all the different wormholes. This is about the different drifter wormholes. So, no, this doesn't have it. There is actually like a whole set of like all the different stuff inside of the drifter wormholes, because there was a bunch of sites inside of the drifter wormholes. Some of those have been repurposed. Eve Travel is a really good website. Mark726 is amazing. I miss him. Is listing enough, or actually needs to be bought by another player? Usually listing is enough. You can always buy your own thing on the market, though. Remember that? Oh, it does need to be bought? Ew. What sites can you even find within the Drifter Wormhole? The Drifter Wormhole has the Labyrinth and the Nexus site. There's a heal inside. Yes. No, I don't think that there are hacking sites inside of the Drifter Wormholes. Well, I think he's probably going to get it before I can even get in there. Let's hope. Let's hope he's got it. I'm rooting for him. You can see a bunch of sleeper battleships prepping down there. And there's the Circadian Seekers or Authentic Lancers. Still not seeing 22 scratched on anything. These PS2 controllers are a lot bigger. What crystals? I don't think there are crystals for it. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to try to race him for it, but you know, I'm secretly rooting for him. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Showed up in time. Sucks for him. Oh, he might actually get this one because of how far away I am. I'm only grazing. Well, that's a hit. Think I'll scare him if I lock him up? Probably not, but it might be good to make sure that he doesn't steal it from me. It's not the last hit that matters. It's maximum. It's single. It's the single pilot that does the most damage total. Last hit has never been the thing. Nope, he got it. Good job. If it was last hit that matters, then faster shooting guns would be more powerful. A lot of people believe it's last hit. I hear that every single time. So if you notice, my booster still is lasting for another 4 seconds, even though my charges ran out a while ago. So I can still jump while still being boosted. That's what those new faction modules are going to do, is make it so that they last a lot longer after you're finished boosting. Am I using 425s? Yes, I'm using the... If you go to Eve Workbench, which actually just did an update, so, you know, that's cool. I went to this high-sec combat events ship. This one right here. This is what I used. The only thing I did was I added a combat, command boost on it. I wasn't 100% married to it because it's not like cap stable or whatever, but it seems to be working just fine. 220s would likely be better for the frigs? Yes, but I need it to be good enough to kill the frigs and do as much damage as possible to the battleship so I can race. So, like, I think that I personally believe that the 425s are going to be better for that. Because I was able to hit the frigs. This is a... Yeah, that's also a Sleipnir. Also a Sleipnir. Apparently people like Sleipnirs. This is a Drake. That'll work. I personally would go with a Drake Navy issue. And like I said, I'm pretty sure if you just strip the Sleipnir fit off and you put it on a Hurricane Fleet issue, you just drop one of the tracking in the mids, and it should be just as good. You want to have at least, I think at least 40 plus tracking. These guys have 60 tracking. The 25 tracking on the Drek was not sufficient. That's why people ungroup their guns. People ungroup their guns because they want to hit multiple targets at the same time, usually. They really wanted to make faction command boosts viable. They'd give them the same treatment as faction mind links and give them dual boosts. Like, it would be kind of cool for there to be a booster that you could fit multiple types of charges into, like a generic booster that you could fit any boost charge into. That could be really cool. That's another way to add utility without adding power. I agree. Wonder how many of my VNI passive shield tank drone fit would do. Oh, the passive shield tank drone fit VNI usually does it with an oversized AB, which probably won't help you much. And they also are pretty aggressive against drones. So, ungroup for event sites to race because they have the misconception that last hitting matters. That's funny. No, it's whoever does the maximum amount of damage. Any individual. So if you have a fleet, each person in the fleet, it doesn't combine at all. So it's the individual top damage on any given wreck owns that wreck. That's how it works. I was considering like an EOS in the site. And a VNI could be interesting, especially if you like locked up your own drones and used remote reps to keep them alive. You can use the Drake in a month. Oh my god. What's holding you back? Is it just the T2 hams? Because you could probably get away with meta hams. You won't be able to race as easily. Also gross. The thing uses 2 medium processor overclocking units. I don't like that at all. I don't know if I can condone that one. Yeah, if you see a big training, one of the biggest costs in training is Tech 2 guns. So chances are Tech 1 missile launchers will work mostly good for you and will take a lot less time to train. I've got Zori at my feet. She's being adorable. A bit overloaded in power grid. If it's a little bit, then you can get an implant. I just like this statue. The good product claim is my my shirt and my coffee mug, which you should be able to get from my store down below. Will T2 missiles even work that well on the rats? Yeah, that's what my point is, that you're probably going to want to be using T1 missiles anyways, although precisions might be fine. But if you're just using Navy missiles, then it doesn't really matter. In whose merch store? My merch store shipping to the EU? Is that a problem with my merch store? Oh, yeah, just remove. Oh, okay. I mean, I can look into that if you want. The shield command burst. Yeah, go ahead and just remove that. Command burst is a big skill training. That's true. If there's something that makes it so that we can do shipping better for you guys, let me know. Huh? You want up? Are you wanting up? Uppies? There we go. Uppies. Ugh. Up here. Say hi. Say hi. Good, Zoria. Does it ship to the EU? I've had people in the EU buy stuff already. I've had people buy stuff on from my store. So, should. Oh, she's such a good doggo. She's the most amazing doggo. Like I said, if you run into any problems whatsoever, Malin, though, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help it. There are unidentified wormholes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Where are we going? Where are you going? Trying to... This what you're after? It's just like a piece of tissue. Why are you so obsessed? She's like, is that posh loss? Must extirpate. What does the doggo think of the piggies? The doggo actually likes to watch the piggies. She's actually pretty nice to him, although so far I've done a pretty good job of like caging her up when I take the piggies out. So she hasn't had like a real good chance. But she's been close to him a couple times, and she likes to look at them through the cages. She also likes to steal their hay. She just wants to be friends with everybody. She wants to be friends with everybody so badly that like a lot of other like our cat would become nervous around her quite a bit. Okay. So now my augmentations are bullshit, so I can die. Now I just need... Air Galente Explorer? It's an Imicus, right? Wait. It is an Imicus. Okay. So let's go ahead and see which of the wormholes that is here. But maybe we can poke our head in. Because we can see there's an unidentified wormhole in system. And you can tell which wormhole it is by the signature once we get there. So we can see this is the Redoubt wormhole. We can tell that because it's R259. R for Redoubt. And we can look on our list. Where is it? Redoubt is the Triglavian one. Hell yeah! Perfect. Streamer luck. The Triglavian one is linked to the Triglavian system. Hell yeah. Here we go. I do not have a delay. That would be silly. I'd much rather something go horribly wrong than you guys having to wait to talk to me. Okay, so now we are in the wormhole system. We can see there's an Astero, a Legion, 2 Herons, a capsule, and some probes kicking around. So there is 4 Labyrinth complexes and the Azdaja counter domain. Let's go check out the and then of course the Redoubt Hive. The Eve ads mean we slowly slip out of sync. Refresh. There's the Legion. Oh god, am I already dead? Am I already dead? Wow, that thing is cool looking. There's a manufacturing yard. There's a Zordage being built. Yeah, I landed in the rock. Sweet, huh? Where are we going? What are you doing? So there's these unknown anomalies. Maybe one of these is that caged wormhole. What do you want? Hopefully I don't get caught in a bubble. I don't see anything that could be bubblish. There's some drifter battleships. Hey, I found it. There's the caged wormhole. So I got that. Now I need to get out of here before these battleships hit me. Okay, great. So I went to this site inside of the Triglavian system, and now I got a new one to go to the floating Stonehenge in the Sanctified Vidette. So I just did a fucking terrible thing, guys. I just did a very terrible thing. I just did the most terrible thing that you can do while doing exploration in wormholes. I didn't actually bookmark my exit. I didn't bookmark my exit, guys. I'm stuck in here. Oh boy. Hold on. Okay, puppy. Shit. Absolute rookie behavior. Fucking failure. Awesome. What's great is I'm going to probe down all these wormholes, and now we get to find which wormhole is the correct one, which I can't warp directly to them, so you can't really tell. So this is going to be exciting, guys. This is going to be exciting. I'm providing Pravada, not Istana. Where, yeah, I should, maybe that'll work. Look at all those signatures. Look at all those signatures. Jesus. Okay. Well, there's that. Professional e-player. Hey, man. I got distracted by my doggo. That's my excuse. Imagine if I forgot to. I could have brought. What if I just brought my my Sleipnir in here, and then I'd be like super stuck. So actually, what could happen is if somebody wants to, I could actually like pop. Hold on, I have an idea. I have an idea. I can actually I can fix it, guys. I just need one of my friends or my alt to come to this system because it was, yeah, like if you don't even have to scan it down. You just come to Araron and then pop through the wormhole and then let me know and then I can warp to you. Easy peasy. This is more fun, though, you know? Gives us something to do. Okay, that's an echo, so it's going to be the furthest point. Size and jump and shuttle. Thanks, Trans. I mean, to be fair, I'm like grand total sitting in like 15 million ISK, so I could just die. And it'd be fine. See, that's my secret. My secret is to manage my risk, so that way when I do mess up like this, it's not that big of a deal. Leave the ship now, it's a hunt. Death is a serious matter. That is true. That's why you got to manage your risk. Did I change ships? I did. I'm in an Imicus. I changed my ship and my clone. Watch, I'm gonna go look. Yep, no, yeah, I'm in a effectively blank clone and in a throwaway Imicus. Yeah, no, the Sleipnir's not 15 million. That's true. Sleipnir's like 600. Why did that make you laugh? All right, so there's 3 wormholes. Too relatable. Fair enough. I mean, I've had that moment where it's like, oh shit, even though I thought I switched, go look and I'm in my fucking Asclepian pod and I'm like, oh, I guess I need to be very careful now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah. I'm that way all the time. Well, you know, that's why I did it. I needed my air career path done. So here we go. HFI is just as good as the Sleipnir? Hell yeah. In fact, I would argue that there's a really good chance that the HFI is going to be better than the Sleipnir. I mean, so Navy ships in general, Navy things in general, are better with fitting and better for application. And application is going to be critical, especially in that first room. If you're not one of my main people, don't worry about it. It sounds like Thrans is already working on it for me. I appreciate it. That being said, if you do want to help contribute to success or whatever, you can come join the Convocation Empyreans. We offer opportunities. We have over 6 billion ISK worth of opportunities currently up and available for our members. How much DPS did I have to tank the sites? I don't know if I had Peld running when I was looking at it. It was not, like, the DPS is low. Honestly, as long as you don't get nuded out, or if you do get nuded out, it's not like a complete disaster for you, then you're pretty fine. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, just kill the enervating rats first. It is not doable in a frigate. It is, so the Convocation of Empyreans is my alliance. We maximize, our objective is maximize player engagement with EVE Online. So our job is to help players find ways to access content, and, you know, so we build guides and generally try to have fun stuff. We just picked up a moon again. So many wormholes. Echo means it's the furthest one. What does that mean in this case? Actually, that is not clarifying at all. All right, well, let's try this one. Okay. Sorry, I had to turn off or close my window. There's doing some weed whacking or whatever. Helping a small streamer who's new to Eve. Been fun sharing knowledge. Excellent. Great. I love doing that, like popping in with newer players. That is kind of one of the nice things about having the reputation that I have now, is that like it used to be when I go in and try to help out somebody, it's like I'm just one of multiple people in the channel or whatever, and like everybody's saying whatever. But the nice thing about having a reputation like I have now is that, you know, I can say something and chances are there's going to be somebody else in the channel that's like, hey, listen to that dude, which is really nice, because then I don't have to compete with whatever fucking bullshit Reddit has decided to spew out. Wow. That's a crazy... Well, that's cool. Shoot me his information. I'd be willing to check it out. I mean, yeah, Eve players are always expecting to get scammed. With good reason a lot of the time. Oh. So what we've proven here is that you can still access the wormholes through the normal methods as well as the filaments. I think probably this is going to be a good place to... Which was caged? It was the first one I went to. I opened it up in the... Yeah, it was the... When I hit right-click, I guess it would be RKP635, because it was the first... It was the top one of the unknown anomalies. Yes. Saving your wormhole is an important thing. I've had some fun exchanges with newer players before. My favorite was I convinced a new player to do a yeet exploration, right? And this was during World War B2, so during the last Great War in like 2022 or in like 2020. And so I convinced them to do yeet exploration, because that's a great way to have an adventure for super cheap. Actually, that's what this Imicus was originally for. And so they yeeted out, but then when they got there, like they ended up 6 jumps from 1DQ. And so I was like, all right, we're going to change this a little bit. I need you to go to this system, LinkedIn 1DQ, and just jump into it and see what happens. You know, this is the heart of the war. So he jumped directly into their major fucking gate camp with Titans and everything. It blew his mind. But yeah, so that's the nice thing about yeet exploration. You never know what's going to happen, but worst case scenario, it's like 5-10 million ISK, so whatever, right? All right, well, let's try to find some Tyrantite. How did I change my font color to purple? Where? Are they not normally purple? If you're new and want to grab the free million free skill points, click that link in the description. Good job. Thanks, Punch. That's right. If you have not yet gotten your million free SP, even if you're not a new player, you're just a returning player and you've never used a buddy code before, you can use the link down below to get your free million skill points. When I select anything. I don't have stuff turning purple. So if you go into your overview settings, right? There's the appearance tab. No, there's tabs. Yeah, well, that's the tabs colors. Yeah, here you can change colors of things in space if you want. Like if I wanted to change my corp ticker to being orange, I guess, right? Oh, settings, user interface. Oh, right. Themes. You can also match themes to active ship if you're an Omega. I'd forgotten all about that. I went with the purple theme because it's like the whole deathless thing. Is it possible to use a filament to another hole in a drifter hole? Should be. I don't think there's restrictions on where you can use the new drifter filaments. All right, so I got some strip miner ones on a Mackinac. It's a color picker that I wish CCP would use in other places of the game. So I can come here and I can open this up and see that there's a beacon called Celestial Beacon. Because of the bug that's currently going on, I can pretty much guarantee that that is the Tyrantite mining site. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, I really wish skin curation allowed more customization in the actual colors instead of having to get exactly the color like each piece, but a color picker would be cool. Yep, you have to sell it to the market. But you can buy it from yourself. So you can put it up for sale like here in this system where nobody buys anything, and then you can buy it from yourself, and then that counts. Get some, but the taxes. That's why you do a very low amount and you buy it right away. Oh my god, a Serpentis Protector already showed up. Oh no! Uh-oh. I'm assuming this Vagabond, this Tech 2, is not here to gank me. That'd be a very expensive process. Send in the drones. I don't even have drones on this ship. I don't care. Hey, Sheesh, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. I'm Ava Sandman, Radical Jacob, Keybreak, Lady J, and Dylan. Thank you so much, Sheesh. So I need to mine 7,000 units. That would be pretty funny. I've had funnier things happen, I guess. But if they did want to harass, like if this guy was here to harass me, he could just bump me and cause a bunch of problems. So probably fine. I'm a drone lover too, don't get me wrong. I just don't have him in this particular ship ready to go for whatever reason. Let's see. Almost done. See how much I get a cycle. Buy my own buy order for 1S did not work, or I did it too quick. What? Huh. Interesting. Maybe you have to do it with an alt? There's a lot of fun out here right now. There is the combat sites. There's aligned to a celestial just in case. I can't, if I'm aligned, then I'll move. And I can't, like, if I move more than 2 kilometers more away from this rock, it won't work anymore. So I can't really, the only place I'd be able to align is like straight right there. And as you can see, there's nowhere to warp there. So not really anything for me to do. I could get to the other side and then align back in this direction to be lined out, but like, oh, it worked the second time? Interesting. My biggest defense is that I'm in high sec. So like, whatever. And there's only 4 people in local. If suddenly like there's a big spike in local, then yeah, it might be time to go. But right now I'm not terribly concerned. And I got 5,500 units in one cycle with a Mackinac. Do I have max skills? I do. So in my max skill Mackinac, I got 5,500 units per full cycle. And it goes back to the mining after the selling? Okay. You can safely point 2 rocks. They're like 80k. Well, but that isn't going to help me. Like, if I wanted to like get away from the landing point, then yeah, for sure. High sec is the most deadly space in all of EVE, especially in a Mac. I mean, okay, fair. But like I said, with so few people in local, look, the way I see it, either this is going to be fine or it's going to be content, okay? Either way, I win. So, carry on. It's 100 units to reprocess for 1,000 units total. So it's basically, call it 10 times the unit. So this is what, 50,000 units of Illiturium that I mined already. Yeah. You mine and then you build the filaments with the stuff. That's true. Hey, that's how I've lived forever, man. Back when we did invasions and I would like run fleets live, people would come and try to mess with us, and then they realized that like it just got me really excited when people tried to come and mess with me, because that's an exciting thing to have happen. You know, I embrace the content. Yar content. Oh, I got my reward. So my next thing is I have to Build a drifter wormhole filament. So let's go back to where that Sleipnir was. It's fine. He's absolutely correct. Under normal conditions, it's worth being a little bit nervous in Mackinac, but I'll get over it. Oh no, I've been found. I do tell people, like, I give people advice, and then I tell people to not necessarily do exactly what I do on stream, because I often do very silly things on stream. But EVE Online is a game about the practical application of bad ideas, so it's fine. Hey, look, there's Concord out here. That's, I'm sure, fine. Yeah, don't try this at home, kids. I'm used to expensive losses, so you know. Can I do all this here? I don't even know. No, not for Gake, just for rats. All right, well, Arner's watching. That's fine. So I can reprocess this. I get 68.3% in just an NPC station. So I get less than, because of the efficiency, I get less than 1,000 or 100 or yeah, whatever, the same amount of units that I would have predicted. But I get just under 1,000 units with 1,300 units, or 13,000, or becomes 900,000. $92,000 Ulterniums. So now if we can build the blueprint, can I not build it here? Structure browser, service filter, industry, structure type, stations are included. So really, there's no manufacturing here? $1.25%. All right, well, I guess we're doing that then. Goes here. Oh, the Mauro shirt? Thank you. Can I tell you more about our corporation alliance? Is it only about helping new players? No, not just helping new players, but it's about maximizing players' engagement with EVE Online. We do a bunch of stuff about like high sec focus and stuff because that's what a lot of people like. But I mean, we've got a lot of more experienced pilots involved, and when we have enough people, we do other stuff. I think this is the one that's correct. We have a secondary alliance, the Invited, which is like our more, that's much more focused on supporting the deathless in universe. But Mauro is about just kind of enabling as much content as we possibly can. So by guides and fits and ships and opportunities for people and, you know, moon mining and fleets and stuff. And you can always join the Discord and just kind of hang out with people. You don't have to join the convocation itself in order to be part of it. I mean, a really good example of that is actually Punch, who is in comms right, or is in hanging out with us right now. He's not in the convocation itself, but he hangs out with us all the time. He might as well be. Hey, thanks, Sheesh. Ah! Fucking A. Not enough cargo space. Gah. Yeah, well, so as far as joining as an entire corp, I'm incredibly hesitant to do that. Hey, what's up, Cozy? Yep, not enough. We require more minerals. You can see that this is not the first time I've mined in this system. Yeah. It is the Megathron model that came from the second year collector's edition, or the second collector's edition. No, I've got it here. I've got plenty here. It's just, I assumed that if I just filled up my cargo bay with it, that I would have enough. And I just had slightly not enough. And it made me frustrated. Yeah, the second year the second collector's edition was really cool. Came with like a awesome picture of the Megathron with the cool skin. There's a special skin in game that you get for the Megathron, and you get the Megathron statue. Although the statue doesn't have the skin, which is kind of funny, but yeah. Yeah, we can blue other corps, and we basically can make it so that we consider you a member of the convocation. So what you would do is you join with, like, you make a new alt, like an alpha alt, and then you join the corporation with that, and then we use that to tie together with our tools, and then we can basically designate your entire alt corp as being in the convocation without you having to actually be in the convocation, if that's what we want to do. The problem is that if too many people are able to add their corps to the alliance, theoretically speaking, they could like do a hostile takeover. Nobody wants that again. That's true. We also like to keep them out of COE because any corporation could just drop a structure and make the entirety of convocation war deckable. Oh yeah. Back in 2020, back when things, so like we had a lot of people, like the game, like the alliance was actually really big during invasions because we were doing invasion content like 8 hours a day. There was this fleet activity that was constantly buzzing, and so we had this big player base within the convocation surrounding around doing that. But then when the invasions kind of disappeared completely, there wasn't that kind of group content for people to do. So some of them kind of kept doing stuff, but over time, the leadership, or a lot of the people, the directorate, kind of became insular and doing their own thing, resulting in effectively a coup where a bunch of them tried to steal everything they possibly could and then run away. And then accuse me of stealing it all, even though I'm still here and I'm helping I helped replace it all. So yeah, that happened once. That's one of the reasons why the alliance is smaller now. All right, so, oh my God, this is an hour and 42 minutes before I can use it. And wait, it's an hour and 42 minutes before I can complete the task? Oof. What's going on? For 3 years via one of the Init newbie corporations, but now I'm more solo pilot because I don't want to be a member of a null block. Yeah, and that's one of the things, like, we try to stay as independent of null block stuff as possible. So nice, Dutch. Wait, you successfully ran one of the sites? Yeah, but the task says I have to do a filament. It says manufacture any drifter wormhole filament. So I have to manufacture a filament. You cleared a Labyrinth complex. You want to hop in comms and tell us about it? Dutch, I'm in on-air public if you want to hop in here. Okay. Otherwise, we can talk about it tomorrow if we want to. We've already been going for 3.5 hours today. I'm happy to keep on going today if there's stuff to do, but I'm also aware that, you know, we got to stream tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Hey, Dutch. Hold on. Let me make sure they can hear you. Now they can hear you. How's it going, Dutch?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Had a first run-in. Was happy to see a very large amount of interest in the public fleet, so that was good. And we learned a lot.
So, for those of you who do not know, Dutch Gunner is a long-standing member of the kind of lore / RP / in-game event community. Dutch got really made a name for himself during the Triglavian invasions, running fleets as well as I did, but then has become pretty much the leading expert in drifters in the modern day. He literally wrote the book about how to dodge drifter doomsdays and has been one of the main people leading drifter hives and runs, as well as fighting drifters in Pochvin for standings and anywhere else they end up showing up. He's been very active in the drifter hive or the drifter crisis sites, leading fleets, providing ships for people, and being very active. And in fact, is one of the big reasons why the Minotaur have been very successful in those crises. And today, he has completed the Labyrinth, which is the first of the 2 sites inside of the drifter wormholes. Is that correct?
Yes. And
excellent.
Yeah, a little bit of additions to that very ego stroking introduction. I basically took over and expanded upon the work of the giants that went before me and figured it all out. So big shout out to the initial people from that figured out with the drifter hives and mapped it within the Artak research community, consortium community, the ARC community, and held it off for a while because I wanted to keep things separated. But things happen, stepped up, learned a lot, and today we dove in, see what the new content is all about.
Very cool. So yeah, Airtalker Research Consortium has obviously been doing their shit since 2015 or so, and you know, with the drifter stuff, they've been involved with drifters since the very beginning. But you came in about 2020 and started like being one of their main guys actually doing stuff. But now you're actually in your own organization. You just work alongside Airtalker.
Yeah, supporting the ARC community and the scientific. Basically, we went into the Labyrinth complex. What we figured out is that micro warp drives don't work within the complex. So it's afterburners only. Or dual.
Is there like a scram bubble?
No, it seems to be dead space with just the environmental influence preventing you from using a micro warp drive.
That's weird. Okay. Has that ever happened before?
Don't know.
I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Either way. So, okay. So what is the site actually like?
So, Labyrinth is an app description. So far, it seemed that I got lucky relatively quickly with figuring out some of the gate configurations. Um, and what we learned so far is that at the beginning, there were two gates. I started out with the one on the left, and from there, we came into different rooms with different gate positioning, where it seemed as if, as we went in for the first time, because according to the patch notes, and this is something I can't confirm yet, but I would assume it's correct, these labyrinths would be randomly generated. So you take a route one time, it doesn't automatically means that if you take the same route a second time, you're going to have the same route and everything is going to be exactly the same. But basically, it's navigation. It's different rooms, different pockets, where if you take the wrong gate, you could be sent back to the beginning, and you have to go through all the rooms again. We found out that there are cases where you have to kill all the NPCs to unlock the gates to go to the next pocket. We've encountered sites where there are 4 cans that need to be hacked with a relic analyzer called the threat capacitors. There were 4 in the pockets. If you cleared those, the wormhole that acts as a spawn for the sleepers mostly will disappear. Then either you have to kill all the sleepers, or once you got it all hacked, you can take the gate to the next pocket. And we came across the the horde structure, the end objective, where you needed to hack 4 cans that would trigger a drifter with a doomsday. And once you killed that drifter, you could blow up the structure, and then you cleared the site. Interesting part is that in contrast to what we had with the the dreamer resolution site, where it worked on a timer, there was no timer related to the cans so far. Not
Right.
sure if it's
So
going to stay the same, but hack the 4 cans, you can move on to the next one. You need a relic analyzer to clear it. And the people that did the hacking mentioned that it were yellow 70 cores.
okay. So you wander through the gate network kind of randomly, and then there's the. How many rooms did you go through?
Let's see. I got to the objective in the 6th one.
6th room. Okay. And how many times did you have to lock the hack cans? Is that only in one of the rooms?
Let's see. We ended up in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, where you had to. In the 4th is where we had to start hacking. That came back to the 5th, and in the 6th as well, where we found the structure.
Was there any way to know which direction was correct?
No.
Okay.
It seemed as if, as we got into the after we took the first gate, there was one pointing north upon entry and one south. When one person took the south gate, they ended up at the beginning. So based on that, I experimented with, let's keep heading north, and if we can't go north any further, we'll have to go a different direction. But that's guesswork if that's still how it works. Like, this is just the first run.
Right.
This is how we did it. This is what the outcome was, and I'll run another fleet tomorrow.
And what loot did you get?
Hang on, let me double check. There was the standard blue loot. We had some different band emissions, and we had let's see, 3 different kinds of threat: a definitive threat, a terminated knot, and a uncertainty threat. We had a
How many of
laden
those?
fork, a nexus cipher, and a recursive knot, but those are probably for the siege sites.
The laden fork, you said?
Yeah.
Laden fork is for the vigilant shield command burst. You need a laden fork, a definitive threat, a terminated knot, and a dominance command unit for the Vigilant Shield command burst turn in.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Just like I came back from work, had some dinner, prepped
Yeah.
for the fleet, ran the fleet. So there's still a lot of me for catching up, but it's the
No,
first
yeah,
day.
totally. Yeah. I'm looking at the chart. Luckily, Wizard sent me the turn in spreadsheet, so that's what I was looking at to reference what you were saying. So you got a laden forked packet, but not a Minos forked packet, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. And everything else you got only one of?
I'd have to double check the logs. Give me a moment. Because I'm very thankful with the people that like me to run these fleets, because people also gave me stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit polluted, but let me try to get the loot logs.
Oh, it also looks like, guys, that ore, that mineral from the ore can just be turned in to the different quartermasters for the drugs, for different volatile boosters. So it doesn't actually matter whether or not there's too much stuff to build. People can just turn in, but it's 10,000 units per, which is going to be a lot. You'd have to get a hauler in there in order to do that. Makes me wonder whether or not this stuff fits in what kind of cargo bay I can put it in. It is considered a mineral, so if you got like a mineral hauler, you could put it in there.
So just going through the list that I can see, we were able to recover 5 recursive knots, 1 terminated knot, 15 uncertainty threat, 3 definitive threats, another 5 uncertainty threat, 1 laden forked packet, 20 sleeper drone AI Nexus, 420 neural network analyzers, that's blue loot, 1 Nexus cipher, 117 sleeper data libraries, so that's the blue loot, 1 recursive knot, and 61 ancient coordinate database, so blue loot.
Okay, so quite a bit. That's pretty good. So, yeah, actually, the 10K units, it takes 50K. It took 50K to build the filament, so that's why I ran out of space. So, you could actually fit. So, 10K units is 100 M3 of stuff. So you could fit like 10 or 15 turn-ins, or in a synesis, if in a transportation synesis, in theory. Yeah. Well, cool. How many people showed up?
In the end, we had a fleet of 35.
Jesus. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I had to give people the heads up, like, hey, look, it looked easy because we had this many people, and confessors still kick ass.
Right. Which wormhole did you go to?
And today we went to a Sentinel.
Okay. Because I was thinking that with the with your confessors, the Triglavian wormhole is going to be the best one for you, right? It's the Wolf
Depends. I mean, the damage boost also makes it very risky, because some people had difficulty remembering the instructions. They were a bit trigger happy, which you don't want to have, especially when there is a drifter with a Doomsday.
Well, but that won't be affected by the Wolf Riot, though, because that only affects small weapons. I mean, it's still bad, but it's like the drifter weapons won't actually be improved by the Wolf Riot, right?
No, but the amount of damage that is being done to them because you're using small weapon systems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. A stray shot will do a lot more damage. Well, okay, so under the correct conditions, the Wolf Riot would probably be the easiest for the Confessor setup. Yeah. So you were able to run it. Well, I guess you had 30 people, so, but.
Yeah. But, up, like, only in the final room did we, at the end, trigger a drifter. Most of it was sleepers with looting battleships. So battleships, cruisers, and frigates, random composition. So do be prepared to deal with occasionally heavy newts. But with the estimate of 10 people, yeah, I think it's fairly doable with 10 people. You could bring more, and if you are willing to just say, hey, look, we're just going to take the loss as it happens, bring some extra to make sure that if you do get the Doomsday fired, you don't run out of critical numbers of Logi.
Right. And also, like, you got the key at the end, right? To the Nexus site?
Don't know.
Oh,
I could be the Nexus cipher.
that's probably it. Because it says that you get the key to the
Oh,
Nexus
yeah.
site.
This cipher opens up access to a Nexus point within a Drifter wormhole system.
Okay, great. So in
yeah.
theory, if you had like 15 people, you could just run the labyrinth really quick with all 15 people and then get the key and then go run the Nexus with the 15 people.
Yes. Based on what I've seen, if you know what you're doing and you want to avoid taking a loss, you do want to have some links. But keep in mind, if you're going to go for the command ships, they can only fit an afterburner. So
Right.
they might be a bit they might be slowing you down, but then again, full armor bursts and full skirmish bursts, where you don't even need to go. Yeah, no, it's beneficial with our setup of confessors with that little bit more web range, but more speed from the alpha prop mods, smaller sig radius, more armor HP, more armor resist with confessors in their defensive mode. It works like a charm.
Yeah, I wonder how well confessors will work with lower numbers or in the more advanced site, though, if they're designed for battle cruisers.
That's the big question. But
that is the big question.
For now, I'm just going to run another fleet tomorrow. Gonna focus on the labyrinths for the time being, trying to take notes and figure those out. And then when we have more, we can actually start having a go at the Nexus site.
Excellent. All right, great. So if people want to get involved, make sure to join the Convocation Discord or the ARC Discord. He most of the time posts it. It's all coordinated on the ARC Discord, but you'll be able to find it on the COE Discord if you're not already there. Do I have an ARC Discord link thing? I might, actually. Maybe not. But nope, doesn't look like it. Okay. But, you know, so if you're interested in getting involved, Dutch always has his fleets open to people, and as long as you behave, then you're welcome to join. Let's give people that link.
Sending you a DM with a link.
Great.
That's for the ARC Discord, and I always try to send a ping as far ahead as possible on where you need to be, what you need to be formed up with. For these sites, I do provide Logi, but it's bring your own confessor.
All right.
And yeah, that's it for today. Like, first run, shared it by seeing you were still streaming and hopped on comms, and hot from the press.
I appreciate it very much, Dutch. And remember, guys, in a couple of months, we're going to be talking about CSM elections. And remember how much work Dutch puts in all year long to make things better for players. But yeah, thank you very much.
Ciao for now. Good stream, good hunting.
And I think I'm going to wrap things up right there. I think that's probably a good thing. That's a good place to stop for today. I will still be on the COE Discord, and if we can get some people together to go do stuff, we'll go do stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be running around and do stuff in HiSec. Tomorrow, we'll be back with more information about what's going on. Should be back. So I guess thank you guys so much for participating, especially those of you who, of course, decided to take the extra step to support the channel by becoming a member, or with a super chat or a super thanks, or becoming a patron. You guys are all awesome. There's also merch available and all that kind of stuff. But with all that said, I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about since 2012, and I'm here to put even to context for you, my fellow Imperians. There's obviously a lot to know. If you go look at my videos for the last couple of weeks, we've put out a lot of information about the lore and the events that have led up to this point. So go ahead and get yourself caught up. If you are new or returning to EVE, make sure to grab that 1,000,000 free skill points by using the link down below or in chat right now. And that gives you 1,000,000 free skill points, which is 40 days of alpha training, 20 days of omega training for free. And it helps make the channel possible. Yeah, go ahead and join us in the Convocation Appearance. We're here to maximize player engagement with EVE Online. We are actively recruiting and getting bigger and doing more and more fleets. We've got opportunities. We've got mining. We've got combat. We've got fleets. We've got actual opportunities to pay you money. Over 6.5 billion is currently available for our members to collect from us in order to, you know, by doing stuff for the group. I have been Astaroth, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space.
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city